All right, here we go. Let me just like delete this because this is the YouTube history. Okay, let me just put my thing on the side here. It sounds like, let me just hear if I can actually hear my sound. The wasted bird. Here we go. Okay, it sounds so nice. It sounds so much better. Okay. So I think, okay, so let's hit record because we definitely want to like post this video afterwards. So, oh my word, my subs is here in the background. Let me just put it here. All right. So, without further ado, okay, let me just hit record and then do this. Okay. Microphones it. Seen again. Okay. Here we go.
It's your boy King Champ. All the clips
Oh, by the way,
lit.
oh my
You
word,
don't
there's
need
gonna be
lamps.
copyright.
Hey man, we just dropped.
Dude, I'm King Champ. I'm back with another
Okay,
YouTube video
so
for you today, man.
let me just like say like, okay, I just chose a random guy who reacted to this. So King Champ, go show some love. I mean, I'm watching his video, so I'm just saying like, in case he is watching and seeing like I'm watching his video, yeah. So go show some love and yeah, shout out to his video and like I'm gonna be reacting to it.
Now, this isn't a video I normally make. I normally make reaction videos. So if you're like looking for reactions and stuff, bro, I post every day. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated.
Wait, are you saying that there's no sound? Let me just, yeah, okay, wait, yo, was,
I normally make reaction videos. So
okay, wait.
looking for reactions,
Let me just like
bro,
this.
I post every day. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated.
Wait, are you saying that there's no sound? Let me just. No, but there's no sound now. Like, oh my word, what is going on? Okay, I don't know. Sorry. Okay, let's just see if it. Okay, wait. Okay. If there's sound, oh snap. Okay, I probably have to watch it from like. Let me just go to. Okay, I'll edit the video because this is just going. But. Okay. It's a mess. It's a mess, but we'll figure things out. Like, I don't know. Okay, let's just get into it.
But this video I wanted to make, bro, I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to make this video. I just feel like yapping. If you know me from my channel, bro, I really just yap. And I feel like I just wanted to yap about this topic. TikTok is literally dying before our eyes. And that's not even like a figure of speech. Like, it's literally dying before our eyes.
Can you hear me?
I remember it was so easy, like, for people to blow up on TikTok, like 2020, 2021, 2022. Bro, at that time, it was really like it was really a big place where you could blow up. But being a content creator in my shoes right now, like,
okay, let me just say this. Okay, so like since I'm listening to him and why I also don't like TikTok. First of all, like I have this feeling. This is just my opinion. I feel like anyone can blow up on TikTok, like because it's a short form platform. So if you nail how to do short form, you can blow up. I think the longevity on TikTok is a bit harder. So once you blow up, you don't know what to do because like that's kind of what happened to me when like I didn't blow up YouTube, but I got a bit like noticed. I how can I say? So people started to notice me on YouTube. So now like I got monetized and what. But the problem is I didn't know what I do, like what to do on a channel. Like you know what I'm saying. So I feel like that's what can happen on TikTok. And another thing is so many people choose TikTok over YouTube because YouTube is a bit harder in my opinion because you can do shorts, but at the same time people are not gonna stick around if you can't make like long form content. So I agree with him, like TikTok, because everyone is flooding there, it becomes hard. And yeah, I don't know, man. TikTok has a lot of issues, but I don't want to like ramble too much about it.
for those of y'all who don't know, I've been doing a 100-day stream. I've been trying to stream for 100 days straight. Currently I'm on day 27, 28.
By the way, like just a comment on this, like I feel like, dude, like okay, let me just make it like this. Sorry for the jumping in between. I like the video, by the way. Go and like and watch his video. I just want to change. Wanted to mention. So yeah. I hear you. I see you. Yeah, TikTok is easier for both.
Of streaming, but I'm just been trying to do this for my content creation.
Sorry, before I listen, I just want to respond. I get you because we can't hear you when you can, bro. Oh, flip. Okay, I think I have to switch on my mic every time. This is a problem. Okay, let me just do this and make sure. Okay. Okay, so your inputs. Okay, system input is the Rode Connect. So let me do this. And then, sorry, I will fix. Virtual input, okay. Okay, let's just sort out the stuff before we go. Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure. Okay, so let me just play the video and then see if sort out the stuff before we go.
Content creation has always been like a really big dream of mine.
Okay, so let me just speak while the video is playing so I can hear myself. And, if it's working.
If I claim it's a big passion, like I've always claimed.
Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out the issues, man. Don't go full. Let me just play the video and then see.
Content creation has always been like a really big dream of mine.
Okay, so let me just speak while. No, but now it works. I can hear myself here.
If I claim it's a big passion, like I've always claimed.
Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out the. Oh, you mean like full screen? I see. Like, okay, so I should just watch it like this. Then you guys can hear me, I guess. Sorry for this mess up. Okay, so I guess. No, but now it. So I go full cam and listen. Okay. Okay, I'll just react like this because then yeah, I have to figure out why. It's not working when full cam. Okay. I think it's because then I'm in the window, so I don't know. I was probably like have to sort that out. But okay, I guess it's a mess. It's a mess, but we will continue.
Playing my whole life, I feel like now is the time to actually, put that action to work. Like I need to actually go and strive for my goals and my dreams. But anyway, I know I just went on a little rant about that. But TikTok it's to the point now to where it's already bad enough on TikTok that it's spammed with a whole bunch of AI. Like,
sorry, I keep on interrupting this, dude. I know, dude. I'm not a fan of AI, bro. Where AI is now, it's just killing creativity. Like, I'm probably gonna pause this video a lot, but I just wanted to say this. Like, I see a lot of AI on YouTube also doing the same. It's cool videos, don't get me wrong, but I just don't feel like those videos deserve the views, if you understand what I mean. There are people who are smaller who try to make original content that like no one sees, and then someone comes and makes an AI video and instant, like, because everyone is pushing, Google is pushing, everyone is trying to make AI, like, to sell it by pushing the videos to everyone. And I can't lie, it's just slop for me. It's not appealing, it's not creative. Yeah, it just feels like we are going backwards in terms of like evolving. But yeah, this is my 2 cents. But yeah, it's also hard as a creator. I'm not like one of those people, but to compete with something that can be done in like 5 minutes, and you still trying to figure out what you're gonna post and what you're gonna be reacting to. Yeah, it just take a lot to just like produce a video, whether it's a bad quality or good quality. But I think the learning curve of like actually producing videos that are good, that is where it's at, and YouTube like rewards people for that. And I feel like with the AI stuff, a lot of those creators that are starting out and small aren't gonna really feel like doing it. I'm talking too much. Let me
most of the videos I see on TikTok aren't even real videos, they're just AI. And the craziest
AI
part
video
is
bad,
like,
but AI
TikTok
in
should be
general is
promoting
good.
your For You page to stuff that you want to watch. I don't even be liking the AI shit. Like, I don't even watch it, and it still promotes it. It's getting to the point.
That's what he's saying. Like, and I'm saying as well, like, you don't have to like the stuff. It just keeps on getting like promoted on TikTok. They speaking about TikTok, but on TikTok there was this one AI video that kept on, like, it was this like woman that, it was someone who created this trend of, like, I don't know what the name was, but she kept on dying to this like black, what do you call it, the free willy whale, I don't know, I think it's a black orchid or something, but like it was a trending thing, and I couldn't understand. And the song they were using is that sad Russian song, and that video, it got like millions of views. Now again, I just feel like that's unfair to someone actually producing videos, and they're just promoting these AI videos. But yeah, I'm just gonna
now to where I'm seeing way better.
I talk too much,
content
man.
on
I should
YouTube
listen.
Shorts and Instagram Reels. Like, Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts are literally what TikTok was like originally meant to be. For those of y'all who don't know, TikTok has gotten bought by the US, and it's been going downhill. Like,
yeah, they just have regulations,
like, I tried
and
to post
they're trying to steal more.
post.
They're gonna steal more information from people, by the way, for marketers, and sell it and what. Also, the more they know about you, the more they can just manipulate you, even politically, who you vote for, and all these things, and they censor stuff. So basically, if, like, to make example, if Donald Trump doesn't want you to see a certain video, they can just say, okay, boom, because it's basically someone that Trump knows that bought TikTok. Yeah, so it's just, nah, but no one should do that stuff. I feel like no president should care about the app, bruh. Like, why do you care what I do?
Like 3 clips a day, 3 to 4 clips a day of like my content and my streams and stuff like that, and my video won't even pop up on the For You page. My video is not even showing to people who are following me on TikTok. That's how bad it is right now. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I don't know like what's going on. I think they're really just trying to censor a lot of stuff, and by them trying to censor a lot of stuff, they're actually just messing it up for every creator. So this is like a little,
Yeah, he has a good point, and we're gonna see it when you react to more like people talking about it. Like I hear a lot of people that like react to like what's happening in the world. But again, if it has something to do with Trump, that Trump doesn't want people to see, or he doesn't like what you have to say, they will definitely use AI and not real people to moderate it. So the AI flags your video as like harmful, misinformation, whatever, and then you lose your channel. And maybe for a small creator that's not a problem, but if you are a large content creator with millions of followers, if you lose that, you lose your income. So most people don't have jobs. TikTok is their livelihood. So for them, they kind of have to chase trends and like whatever is relevant. But now, if that is being censored, that is a problem because you start messing with people's money, with people's food. Yeah, so that's kind of bad, man.
Quick message to all my up and coming content creators. If you're like come across my videos, start to focus on YouTube Shorts for sure. And then if you do,
I agree.
Have an Instagram, I would focus on Instagram Reels.
I don't like Instagram.
TikTok is literally dying before our eyes. I wouldn't be surprised if they just completely shut down TikTok altogether, or if TikTok just becomes one big.
Look, I think like collectively AI isn't a problem. I think like it has a lot to offer because I'm commenting on what you say. Like if it's more like a TikTok problem, it's more like an AI problem and not a TikTok problem. But TikTok is promoting this stuff. Even YouTube. I just feel like with YouTube, there's a space for AI and there's a space for small content creators. There's a space for large content creators. Anyone can blow up on YouTube. It just depends when and how you find your audience. On TikTok, however, it's not as easy because you kind of share audience on TikTok. It's not like you can build your own audience. Because what I mean by share is like if you post AI content, it's so easy for someone to see, okay, this is how you do it. I'm going to do the same. On YouTube, if you copy and do what other creators do, people are gonna see through you and they're gonna think you're someone else. And then you see it's different, man. Like even if you do shorts, I feel like everything is different on YouTube. I'm probably biased towards YouTube, but I just feel like people are more creative on YouTube and in the long form content, not like maybe shorts, because I feel like the trends still come from TikTok. But yeah.
news app. Like it just promotes propaganda and news and political things that are happening in the world.
Well, you say because TikTok is the most successful social media app right now. I disagree because statistically, I think last month YouTube for the first time actually beat TikTok in terms of views. And this is coming from shorts, like daily views. People are watching more shorts than actually TikToks. I think like when it comes to maybe lives, I think like TikTok Lives is a bit better compared to YouTube because I feel like TikTok Lives has their own vibe. It's more personal compared to YouTube, where there's a lot of, you can't play music, for instance. On TikTok, you can play whatever music. They don't care about copyright. It's just you and your audience. However, with YouTube, it's still, you have to follow this because you can like violate guidelines. While I feel like the problem for me with TikTok is their guidelines and moderation is weird, bro. I had TikTok, and this is probably one of the reasons, besides me hating the app, I stopped on TikTok is because I would play games and I get violations. If I post videos, I get violations. And they were so vague in the descriptions. So I just said like, okay, no, you know what? It's fine. I don't care. I don't get this from YouTube. So why would I post on an app that gives me so much stress? If I post a video of like my code, for instance, like go and use my creator code, they would tell me it's spam, bro. It's like a scam or something like that. And I'm like, bro, other people post the exact same thing as I do, but you call my thing a scam. So who's really the scammer here? But anyway, this is my sense of like TikTok, my experience.
To escape reality. A lot of people go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. They go to those things to escape reality, but
it's not really like I watch a lot of YouTube creators and they talk a lot about this. That's why I'm saying like I'm not pulling this out of my like neck or something, like saying like that I don't like TikTok and that's why YouTube is better. Okay, so let me put it this way. Where do you go if you want a tutorial on how to maybe assemble a monitor that you just bought? You can go on TikTok, but there's no video that's going to be 10 minutes long explaining everything. It's going to be a short minute video. So in terms of like virality, TikTok is your main thing. But when it comes to substance, when you need to watch something, to learn something, a documentary, you won't find stuff. You will find a lot of like summarized stuff on TikTok, and like I guess it's a attention span thing. So depending on if you like short form content or something short and sweet, and you don't want to learn, to be honest, then you go and watch TikTok. But if you do want to learn more about something, I think YouTube is your answer. Whether it's reviews, because I watch all my tech reviews and stuff. I don't trust TikTok reviews. It's sponsored, most likely, all of that stuff. Now, I'm not saying YouTube stuff isn't sponsored, but you have to say before, this is sponsored, and then I know, okay, I click off, you know what I mean? But you do get people who, like, for instance, what's his name? That big YouTuber that always reviews stuff. Like, I mean, there's credible people. I feel like TikTok, it's a bit harder to track when someone is credible, because sometimes people just do it for the bag. Most of the people do it for the bag. So yeah,
it's so hard to escape reality if they're just promoting propaganda on, you know, the current state of America.
Let me just search
what's
it,
going
by the
on
way.
in the world. A lot of people don't.
Oh,
wanna
Baba,
always
just
think about
search for
it,
me
'cause
and
if you
text
know,
me
bro,
like
the world,
what's
it's
the
a
answer,
crazy
because I
time
can't
right
search, you know.
a lot of crazy stuff has been happening as of recently, and you know it only gets worse with time. But we go to these forms, or these forms of content. We go to these to escape reality, you know, and it's kind of hard to do that if
I'm
you're
not
just
saying
constantly
TikTok is
promoting
superior than YouTube,
one
but TikTok
AI
has a different content.
and two.
Yeah, I get it, because when I used to stream on TikTok and ask people to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, they would only watch me on TikTok. So it was hard to traffic people to YouTube. However, like, I was mainly on YouTube, so it was difficult for me to be on TikTok because I didn't like the app. Imagine streaming on the app and you don't like it, and just everything about it. I guess so you can see I don't like something and I will talk bad about it. So I'm not like giving the best, like, or kind of say the most objective take on the subject. But what I wanted to say is, I get you. I think like YouTube is different, but YouTube is still king in terms of like everything, money, sponsors. I guess like people would flock. Okay, I don't know about sponsors. Maybe TikTok is the way, because most of the time people just want views, and that's what you get on TikTok. But YouTube is more like long term. I don't know, man. I just love YouTube, man. You can just tell, like, I'm not a fan of TikTok. So maybe this is coming from there. But again, we are not watching YouTube is dying. We are watching TikTok is dying. So TikTok is probably like worse now than like what it was, I guess.
Pointless propaganda.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm like just pausing all over. Yeah, but this is because people are spamming. This is the first time actually people are talking in chat. And yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, Baba, I meant like go and search what's the most popular. What did you ask? Because the most successful social media app. Okay, you said the most successful, so go and search that. I doubt that it is. Maybe it has a lot of daily users and stuff, but the app is definitely losing its popularity because a lot of people are going from TikTok to YouTube. Like, not just money wise. I think there's a whole lot of reasons besides money. I think like if it was about money, people would probably stay by TikTok and eat up whatever's happening. But I think it's also for your health, man, your mental health. Because imagine working on a video, posting it, for you to get violations or like, you know, and you most likely will lose your channel. So hopefully like you can just make a new channel, but if it keeps on happening, it's a problem. At least with YouTube, you can probably contact, if you're big enough, you can contact people and say like, listen, what is happening? And they will give you some feedback because they've been in the game for longer, you know, Google and all these things. You know, I'm not saying they're the best. I'm just saying like in terms of like the likelihood of people responding to you on TikTok would probably be an AI responding to you first, because that's what people are going to complain. I'll show you where people are saying that it's AI doing this. Like AI is false flagging people, not people. And on YouTube, I understand people are they're also using AI, but I think like if you are big enough, you can contact them still, and you will get an answer. TikTok, because of its followers, I think like, and because there's so many people on TikTok that are big, you kind of insignificant sometimes. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just have the feeling that the whole moderation stuff is a bit worse on the TikTok side. That's just my opinion. I'm not basing this on facts. It's just my feeling, because again, TikTok is dying according to people, not YouTube.
Like, so I just feel like
if you do
TikTok,
one content,
bro,
then
if
the
you want to
content
save the
might be
situation,
better on
bro,
YouTube than TikTok.
Bro,
Yeah, I
they should have. US should have never bought TikTok to begin with. That's all I gotta say, bro. Like, they should have never bought TikTok. They're just trying so hard to censorship out all the people.
I think like we got basically what you were saying, so let's move on to a different video maybe. Okay, let me just first, before I move on, let me just stop the recording. Yeah, also taking some of my CPU, I mean. Okay, so I reacted to that. Okay, but this is different. Like I want to see the actual video that I watch. I think it's this one. Okay, so this is one going to give more context, and then we can argue about that. But let me just open it.
World right now, this is the last thing.
By the way, this is all recommended to me. It's not
Atera
something that
is
I
the
searched.
IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access,
pause
help
so
desk and
much, I forget.
ticketing, smart automations, patching, software deployment.
Did I
Sorry,
miss the
man.
memo
It's just
about-
like I hear so much information, dude, and then I feel like I need to comment on it because like I just love talking and so forth. So let me just start the recording. So I'm gonna make a massive video, I guess, about like everything. Yeah. Okay. Let me just do this. Okay. So we are ready. We can make it bigger.
Did I miss the memo about the creator rewards program? Because my RPM has dropped dramatically over the last couple months, and I don't think there's been any.
Also, shout out to Trust Andy. Like, I mean, we are watching his content, and I don't want to steal and like don't give credit to these people. Even the guy Jay Reed who's like reacting to this. Like, I mean, I don't want to just like watch stuff and they made the stuff. Ah, man, sorry, my bad.
Like significant changes in my content. I never really had like a particularly high RPM, but on average it used to, land somewhere around like 50 or 60 cents per 1,000 views. My last few videos have literally dropped down to like 4 or 5 cents. There hasn't been any change from
that's like
a
swords,
technical
dude, and
production
TikTok is
perspective, and
supposed
I
to
don't
pay
think there's
more
been
than
any like
swords.
major changes in terms of like the type of content I'm doing. I don't know if other creators have noticed a similar kind of drop off, but for me it's been almost like 10 times less revenue per video.
Might be a hot take, but I feel like TikTok is truly having its downfall moment. Ever since it launched TikTok Shop, I feel like it's become like a QVC shopping channel. Like, I open up the app and it's just add TikTok Shop video. Anytime I want to search anything,
That is true. Like, I see a lot of ads on TikTok, which didn't happen like a few years ago. Like, I've also heard that people who use like TikTok like online shop and stuff like and promote that, they are doing fine. They are doing fine because TikTok, like the shop itself, it's where TikTok makes their money. It's like TikTok obviously views and stuff that people are watching, but essentially you want to sell stuff to people. So yeah, that's where most people are getting money.
it just shows me TikTok shop videos. And like, I've posted TikTok shop videos myself. Like, there is good stuff on here, but it's just like so overdone. Also, with that being said, everyone trying to become a content creator, no hate, no shade, I'm here for it. But I feel like the new trend is going to be not posting on social media. I feel like not posting on social media is going to be like chic. And like, maybe this is just how I'm
Imagine not posting on social media. I think like a lot of people want to go and not post, but if you're a content creator, you kind of can't do that. It's already bad if you don't have any other platforms. Like, I only have YouTube. I don't have any other. Like, I deleted all my stuff. So yeah, it's kind of bad when you want to be internet personality, but you don't have any socials.
feeling.
So
Because like,
definitely not the best idea.
I love posting content, but at the same time, I'm like over it. Like, I really am. Like, I can't imagine myself posting on social media for the rest of my life. Like, I really can't, you know?
You have so many TikTok creators right now that are just upping and quitting right now, especially as TikTok has cut so much money from a lot of these creators' pockets, you know, and they cut the payouts, and they are also censoring so many videos and so many layers. And all this happened as soon as TikTok was bought out by the United States of America. I think they were bought out by Oracle.
Let's just agree, everything that Trump touches just turns to like bad poop, bruh. Like, and I'm not even like trying to hide it, bro. Like, whatever that man touches, it makes it worse. Let me just say, whatever it touches or wants to touch, it just worse afterwards. Because like I said, I feel like the government shouldn't interfere with an app, bro. I just want to watch videos. I don't want anyone bothering me, like censoring whatever I post. It's my videos. Why are you censoring it? I understand you have guidelines, but I just feel like, nah, bruh. Don't tell me what to post if it was something I could post a month or two ago and no one had a problem. Now you have a problem because you have a problem with it. you don't like people talking bad about you.
Or whatever the company is. But yes, they have changed the whole entire platform, and so many people are losing out on money. And I'm gonna give you this perspective right here because you guys love the last video I just made about this situation. So guess what? We're gonna make a follow-up video on this, and it's gonna be even longer from many different perspectives. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, guys, because a lot of these people, they're not doing TikTok full-time. They're not full-time social media creators, content creators, or whatever the case is. A lot of these people, they have their full-time jobs. A lot of these people, they already...
Not gonna lie, I'm one of those people. I have a full-time job, so like, hey dude, like it's tough out here because they must think of it this way. A lot of people want to have a better life, I guess, and TikTok provides that, YouTube provides that. So if you screw with that, like I said, if you mess with someone's livelihood, you touch or you take away their money, you're gonna get problems. And I tell you, like a lot of bad stuff is gonna follow from this.
Already are working, and they just are trying to make some extra income in today's economy. But with this payout situation, with the creator fund slowing down, with money and people not getting as much money for the views that they're getting, they are going to have to start picking up second jobs and even working overtime at their current jobs. But, you know, I get it. You know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, welcome back to the job market. Come get a job. A lot of these people already have jobs. You know, a lot of these people are already working. This was just an option for them to have some flexible income and spend more time with their family.
And I'm not going to lie, like, YouTube does, like you said, like it does give you more flexibility. Like if you can be a YouTuber full-time or any type of content creator, you can decide how many hours you want to work. So let's say if I want to work 8 hours, I stream for 8 hours. After the 8 hours, I eat, I sleep, I go to gym, I spend time with my family. That is fine. Doing like a 9 to 5, you know, and then doing YouTube, and to find out, or not YouTube, TikTok, that whatever you post, whatever you do, you're getting peanuts. Again, like that is tough, man. That is tough. And I know the grind. I know how hard it is. I may not make money and stuff like that for me yet, but or used to, but like, you know what I'm saying? I know even if it's just a little, they can help you. Yeah, bro.
Family, but they also still, you know, work a 9 to 5. They still work, you know. So check this out. This is a live example of what I'm talking about when creators are just not getting paid what they used to before.
I left the creator fund yesterday, so now I can post whatever I want. How freeing. I have been in the creator fund, I think, for 4 years now. And right before TikTok got shut down, I was consistently making like $5,000 a month on this app, sometimes more. And I went from...
Dude, that's a lot of money, not gonna lie. Like, I'm not saying like that you can live from that, but I'm saying like if I was like working 9 to 5 and I got an extra $5,000, like, dude, that's a lot in our money, like South African rand, ZAR, so Zuid-Afrika, like, you know. But point is, like, $5,000.
that to making nothing. When I tell you nothing, even on videos that performed really well, 1 cent RPM. And that's very discouraging to a content creator. Very discouraging. I'm not an influencer, but I'm a content creator, and that's...
Mind you, sorry, this is not off topic and I'm interrupting, but the thing is, I think Clicks makes $100,000 from just his creator code a month. So not just the app itself, a lot of people are making money through extra stuff. So again, if you mess with their money, you mess with their lives. It's extremely discouraging
when, you know, like, you're doing what you love, like, you're creating content, but you're getting paid for it too. I mean, fuck yeah, why not? So I'm like, why the hell am I still in this? I haven't gotten paid anything significant in a year. And I'm like, why am I letting this discourage me from content creation? Everything is not about damn money. Nice, but everything's not about it. So fuck it. Fuck the creator fund. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. I'm gonna say whatever the hell I want. I'm gonna, whatchamacallit.
That's not true. You can't say whatever you want, like, but I get what you're saying, man.
I'm gonna post videos that are not, I mean, this is a minute long because I'm fucking yapping, but I'm gonna post videos that are not a minute long. Who cares? I can't monitor.
Again, I just feel like if you have a following, people will just watch whatever you post. But like, if you're a small creator, that is not the case, bro. You gotta watch what you're saying, and like, kind of needs to be relevant. I feel like she can only say what she wants because she has found the audience. That's why.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. for those of you that aren't posting simply for the love of the game, it's probably time to get up out of here. RPMs are cents on the dollar now, no matter what the views are, what the engagement is. I'm seeing colossal creators not making what they were making before. And
and you know what's sad? Like, you see this on YouTube as well. Sorry to keep on pausing, but I see a lot of big creators when they made millions through COVID, and now it's tough times because everyone kind of like the views went like this, and now it's coming slowly down. And it's not because you're not posting like bangers, it's just like a lot more people are coming in and taking some of that, like, you know, audience. But also at the same time, people don't change their content, you know, they don't evolve. And I feel like people like PewDiePie and them, they still get millions of views because they have evolved with time. They still like know what their audience want, and like, you know, maybe it's like his life and stuff like that. So I think like maybe TikTok isn't necessarily the problem. I feel like you just have to adapt or move on. So you don't just have a choice of like, TikTok is dying, I'm moving platforms. You can stay there and just follow the rules or follow the game. Like, to give example, if you don't like AI but it's working, you can either fight against it or join it. Most people are joining it, which they are killing it now, making money. But for a lot of people, it's not about the money, it's about like you love what you do. So yeah, I speak a lot, man.
the conservative far right ownership has struck. It is finally
you make a
affected
good point. You say whatever the audience
this
wants.
fun, wonderful app that we all love to enjoy, and we all like the idea of possibly hitting the lotto, so to speak, and changing our lives. So maybe time to gravitate toward other applications and see what can be done there.
We have got to the point
It
where
sounds so weird
literally
when it says
anybody can build a
applications
fully
because,
working
like,
app
usually
without
we
knowing
say
how to
apps.
code. This is base
So
44.
it sounds like a job application.
And the app is still decent, but it's just crazy how much they want to oppress working class, lower class, non-rich people, essentially. They don't want anybody to get any money, to have any autonomy over their lives, and they definitely don't want people making money easily.
That's also another thing, like on TikTok, I see a lot of people going from like not having money and then getting money. And I love that because that's why most people do YouTube. It gives them financial freedom, flexibility. So again, the theme is don't touch people's money. Don't touch their livelihood, man. But yeah.
But it is what it is. We knew this was going to happen.
Apparently, TikTok is mad that creators are going to other platforms. And any other platform with this number of views, the average watch time being decent, and 10% completion rate, I would have earned over $2,000. Let's see how much TikTok paid. $123.
This is genuinely baffling. I'm going to show you how much money
I
I
shouldn't
made
laugh.
on a video that got 6 million views with a 18% fully watched the video thing. But first, let me compare my account to Cam's
Yo, we
account.
got almost
I've been
10K
posting
followers.
consistently since July, and I've almost hit 50,000 followers. So I am nowhere near the size of Cam, okay? He's been posting for a long time. I'm pretty sure I've seen this dude post since like 2021. And he has 2 million followers on this account. He has 1 million on this one, and I think he has another one that has over 1 million followers, right? So he got almost 3 times more views than I got. He got 60 million views on that video with a 10% watch time. I have 18%, a little higher. I'm way smaller than him. TikTok does not know who I am. TikTok definitely knows who he is. So
Yeah, that's also another thing. Sorry to comment on that. TikTok can make anyone famous. It doesn't need, you don't need talent or whatever. I'm not saying people who are famous and they don't have talent, but sometimes it just feels like, okay, TikTok chooses, okay, I'm gonna make you famous. I'm gonna make you famous because you ask yourself always the same question: why that person? They don't have anything to show. Not I'm saying I have. I'm just saying like sometimes it is the case where like this guy is asking himself, why am I a small creator and I'm getting like more money than this guy who's been killing it and actually like, you know, doing this professionally. I just do it as a side hustle.
let's see how much money I made compared to him.
Wow. Okay.
What?
That's enough.
I am not trying to flex. I am just genuinely baffled that
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, to get actually like 6 million views and getting that money, it's actually underwhelming, to be honest. Like, I don't know, maybe I expected more money. But I mean, if you have like 2 videos you posted that same day, it's $3,000. Who's gonna say no? But I mean, it's probably like not every video like probably performs like that. But I'm excited to see what he
TikTok
got.
was gonna paid me this much for a video that got 10 million less views than him.
Must I
How
put
is
it
that
on
possible?
2 times? Okay.
Either I got paid way too much, or he did not get paid anywhere near. Like, how is this big of a
1.5
difference?
Yeah, and to put this into perspective, having 6 million views and versus 16 million views and only getting $123 is absolutely nothing. It's actually a waste of time at that point, guys. And I know a lot of people in the comments they're gonna say, at least you get paid something. Yes, you are right. But think about this from this perspective. How many times do you think a video is actually gonna get 16 million views? How many times out of every single video? I'm sure his average views are probably like 50 to maybe even 100,000 views. How
Yeah,
many
but
times
that might irritate some people because they actually, sorry. I get what you're saying, like, yeah. Let me just, when he talks, then it doesn't sound weird, but when people are speaking, I would just do
you
that.
think he's gonna get a 16 million view video?
Dude, dude, oh snap, I must, look at that. Wait, 16 million views and he got that. Hey, yo, bruh. $123. Now, think of yourself. You spent 5 hours making that video. I'm just making an example now, and this is what you get. I would still take that because, I mean, that is something, but 16 million views, dude. That's like going viral. Like, who pulls that kind of views? So, that's wild. That's not even worth it, bro. That's not even worth it. That is bad. That is freaking bad.
Think about what he's making on the average. On average, he's probably making $1, maybe $2, maybe even 50 cents for the regular videos at this rate, guys. And that's why people are quitting, because it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. And I'm not even gonna come on this video and act like it's just TikTok. I'm sure YouTube, as long as they continue the same route, I mean, it's already a US company. I don't see any huge changes coming. But at the same time, you just never know with a lot of these platforms, and that's why you have to, set up a plan, guys. Sit down and do your budget. Sit down and save money. Invest in retirement and be smart with the money that you already have coming in, because you never know when this money is going to shut down. And y'all know during the pandemic, during the 2020, 2021, 2022, that was the prime of TikTok. You had creators making hundreds. You still have people who are still making a great living right now on TikTok. However, with the new changes, with the new censorship, a lot of these creators, a lot of these platforms, and a lot of these people in these channels are losing out on so much money. But I mean, y'all see the videos.
TikTok is not paying creators how they used to. And I'm dead not surprised. We already knew once China sold out, we was not going to get paid because America hates seeing us live easy. We were making livable wages off of TikTok alone. And I'm honestly happy that I found my niche and other things besides TikTok to make money through TikTok. Because if I was just relying on my views and regular videos to make me money, I was not going to make any money through here. And the only reason why I still post on this app is because I still get brand deals and I still get wig deals and wig promos to post on this app. I went from making $5,000, $6,000 a month on this app to making $800, $900, posting the same video.
Now with those, I know most people probably don't work, but bruh, if you budget and all of a sudden your income changes, that puts you so much, that puts you in, that adds to the stress level. Because not only do you have to figure out what to do, you also have a chance of going broke. So especially if you have mortgages and all these things. So yeah, you can't really pay your stuff if this is what's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of tough, man, because if I feel for the people who bought homes and they at one time were killing it on TikTok and most likely focused only on TikTok and didn't even branch out to YouTube and Instagram and all these other apps, even Snapchat. But again, each of these apps have a certain audience and a certain style of making videos, and so it's kind of hard to do that and manage a lot of apps. But yo, bro,
videos, same content, same everything.
Really
and
bad.
I don't post as much because TikTok has been limiting a lot of things that you can say. I had so many videos taken down for just stupid shit. So truth be told, now I just be posting on TikTok for fun. I post everything on Instagram. I still make my money through TikTok commissions on TikTok Shop. But my goal for my TikToks from last year was to get paid to travel and to promote Airbnbs and just do promo videos for where I stay and for hotels.
Bro, 2 things are happening while watching this. Bro, on TikToks, they loving the life, bro. Imagine what her goals were, bro. Imagine if I told myself, listen, this year I'm gonna travel the world with my TikTok account, using my TikTok account, and bro, Most people out here can't even pay their bills, bro. You outgoing, and I'm not like, go have your fun. I'm just saying like, yo, hey, yo, bro. That's her goals, bro. People, yo, it's almost like I want to say like rich people have their own goals. Like, you know, it's just sometimes wild to hear what people like want to do and what they can do. I guess it's just interesting.
Hotels and stuff like that. Like I wanted to get paid to travel, and I wanted to get paid through hosting events, and I did both of that last year. I got paid from Lyft and DoorDash to host my very first barbecue, and I was flown out to DR, and I was able to take 12 supporters with me. Now it's January 1st month of 2026, and I'm being flown out to Tulum. Literally on Wednesday, just to do a promo for Airbnb, flight and stay covered. So I do not advise you to stop posting on here because you never know who's watching. But if you're expecting to get paid from them views, trust me, it's not like that anymore. Coming from someone who has 800K on this page and 32K on another page.
And now that I'm out of the Creative Rewards program, I can honestly say it sucks. It sucks fucking ass. Creative Rewards sucks so much ass. Like, I remember back in 2024, I had my largest payout was like 7 bands. No fucking lie, $7,000. Now, this past, I'll say 6 months, I didn't even break 1,000. I haven't even broken $1,000. Take your hard work content and go to not TikTok but Facebook. Go to YouTube. Hell, take it to Instagram. Just anywhere but here. It used to pay so good, bro. It used to pay so good. You might look at somebody's account and be like, damn, they got 14 million views. Yeah, TikTok's gonna disqualify 9 million of those views, and you're only gonna end up getting.
Oh
like
yeah, I've also heard this. So apparently, if you get 9 million views and you log into like you kind of like log out your account and go look at that account again, they all of a sudden have like from 9 million views, actual 5 million views. And some people might be like, but that's fine. But like the thing is, the psychology of looking at someone's views and you're like, this thing really went viral, it must be good. That's kind of weird. I don't know if they inflated and deflated afterwards, because like, I mean, like, that's why the money is reflecting the way it reflects. Because if you have 9 million views but actually you have 5 million views, and that's why you get paid for that 5 million views and not the 9 million, then fix your view thing, because hey,
$500 or $600 payout from that. And it might sound good, but it sucks when you go from making 8 to 10 bands a month to just making barely breaking $2,000 or $3,000. If on a good day, on a good month, you might make that on TikTok. Now TikTok Shop pays way better.
Dude, like
TikTok Shop going live is so energy draining. That's why I don't do it, because I don't have the energy to do that shit. I'm not cut out to be a host. Like, that's not for me. But like, for real.
No shade to people going live, but I understand the struggle, bro. You don't want to be begging for money, bro. I've seen that. Like, it's no shade to anyone like going live on TikTok. Like, do it for the bag. Like, whatever you need to do. I respect the grind, but I just like, I understand what you say. It's very, very draining. People will ask you some weird stuff.
Bro, go to Facebook, go to YouTube. Don't take your shit here. TikTok is not paying like it used to. Creative Rewards program is so dead.
What's your GOAT
RPM
goal?
Like $2.
Okay.
$3 for some people.
What's my goal? Sorry for pausing. I just don't want to speak. What's my goal for the year? I guess I said at some point I want 1 million subscribers. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe in the next 5 years, maybe, if I am consistent and I'm growing. That's the dream, right? You got to do this. Okay, so like short-term goals. I want to do this a lot more since it's manageable and I can engage with you guys, talk to you while you're watching with me. I love the format. I watch other people and how they react and so forth. I also want at least 10K by the end of this year. I will see to it maybe to get 10K subscribers, and if I blow up, I blow up. Of course, that's what I want, but I gotta have like short-term goals, and I kind of have to say it probably to people, but 10,000. Let's reach 10,000 by the end of this year. What else? I want to do YouTube streams and videos. I just want to be a better content creator. That's the main thing I want to do. Whatever video I produce must be better than the previous one. If I can do that, I'll be happy. And I also want to engage with my fans more. Or not fans, I'm not calling them fans, but followers, because fans sounds weird, sounds egotistical, but you know what I'm saying. I just want to, like this, man. You guys are, so you know what?
People, on a bad day, your RPM might drop to like 99 cents. Now your RPM on Creator Rewards is like 1 cent. And if you're lucky, it might be like 65, 75 cents. If you're lucky. There was a time. There was a time to be had on here. There was a time back in like 2023, up until end of 2024, TikTok was paying really good. And now it's just a waste of fucking time. You know,
Sorry for pausing again. I just have one question. All these people that are banning TikTok, bro, what if TikTok goes back to how it was? Will you abandon your audience on YouTube now and go back to TikTok? I just feel like this is a lot more, like, it's not as easy. If you jump audience, you can ask people to go, but what about if people stay now on YouTube and you want to go back to TikTok? Ace, man.
Every other video is TikTok shop, and I'm sorry I contribute to that. But at the end of the day, I still want to make my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm being for real with y'all because I'm no longer in the creator rewards. It feels kind of good, though. It feels kind of good to not have to wake up and look at my account and be like, damn, I didn't make nothing off of it. Now I know I didn't because I opted out of it. It's a waste of fucking time.
Given all the craziness in the world right now, this is the last thing that I want to be talking about, but I'm seeing so many small creators impacted at this point. I was trying to handle this privately. About 2.5 weeks ago, all the money I earned in creator rewards was wiped out. Absolutely zero warning. TikTok is giving me the reason that
I used to have, sorry to pause all the time. I can't like read your messages and not respond like, because we only 3 in the live, so I think it's just us. So, to answer your question, I did have a Discord server. I used to have friends. We used to run our Discord servers and what. Only problem I had with Discord is like it becomes very like I have this tendency of like overdoing something. So I felt like I spent too much time on Discord, and there was some shady stuff happening on Discord. And again, it's if I don't like an app and the moderation on it, I would gravitate to like, you know, it's too much responsibility sometimes. It's not your responsibility to look out for people, but it does have like weird like PDF files there, and you can't really control it. Also, a lot of my audience tend to be young, so I feel responsible for looking out for them. So I just decided, you know what, I will do YouTube without social media, without Discord. Even if it kills me and I don't blow up, whatever, I just don't want to do or be associated with those stuff. So it's not that I don't like, oh, I won't ever get it, but it's just for the time, I'm still not over that Discord experience. I hope it answers your
profile,
question.
even though I never switched to a business profile and have been eligible for creator rewards for almost a year. I've tried to go through every channel that
It did
TikTok
help
offers to get this problem disputed. A lot of folks at this point might be
creator
tempted
code
to say something like,
just get a real
job, bro. Many of us work full time and we create content
And
to try and
having
entertain people
customers
after
on
work, as
Fortnite.
income helps us do that. This is not okay, and this is how many of your creators produce the content that they're sharing every single day.
So guys, TikTok has made a huge change. Since I started TikTok last year, I see you, baby. I started TikTok last year, so I've been on TikTok a year and 3 months. And it has been a change, man. I think since the US has actually took over TikTok, the pay has changed everything. I remember when I first started this platform, man, I was like so gassed up. I'm like, whoa. Now, it's a lot different than the red app. Y'all know what I mean? The red app with the play button. Like, the red button and that app over there, boy, the money over there is so good. It never changes, bro. All you gotta do is upload. Over here,
asking this
when I
because
started,
I
was
want to
RPMs,
talk my
$1.14,
creator and
$1.03. And now, like the last 3-4 months of last year, I was seeing RPMs of 86 cents, and now the last 2 months of last year, all I see is RPMs of 29 cents, 31 cents, and I'm talking about videos with millions of views on them, man. So you got people who's trying to investigate into the Creator Rewards program because they feel like that, oh my God, I'm gonna make all this money. I think at one time he was able to make a lot of money, but with all the changes on TikTok, man, you're hardly making anything now. So the people who's uploading 30, 40 videos a day, man, I would say it's not worth it, man. There's one lady on here, she says she uploads like 26 times a day, and she says she makes 6 figures a month. Now, I don't know if I believe that. I do believe that at one time she was making that on a consistent basis, but with all the changes on TikTok, I highly doubt 20, 30 videos a day she's making that type of money.
Posting 30 videos a day is insane,
It's
guys. And I
insane.
know, I mean, there are people who do it, and you have to do it, especially if
Dude, like 30 videos a day. Imagine if all of them just pull in like $5,000, bro. Like 30 times 5,000. It's a lot of tax though, but like you be making bag daily videos. That's why I think like TikTok could be like, if you like that, if you're making like TikTok reach by posting videos and having content and it goes viral, but I think it's also stressful because just imagining how much burnout that is. 30 videos a day, like even if you're making money, you can't even spend that money because everywhere you go, you have to have a camera and post everything, and you have to have Wi-Fi. So it's not sometimes worth it, man, your mental health. And so you just want to have a chill stream and have a good audience that support you, even if you go on holiday and you don't post anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think like I'm always a person for sustainability, and TikTok, it might be the app to make money, but it's not sustainable the way it sounds, at least.
some situations where you this is your full-time job, this is what you got to do. But guys, like the burnout, there's only so much you can talk about.
That's a good question. I used to make money on YouTube, but now I'm doing it to get back into the program again. So, but I think like the experience I got from like being demonetized is like I learned a lot. Like I took it for granted. I posted videos because I didn't, like I said earlier before I posted, I didn't know what to post because I got monetized, which is first of all freaking hard to do, And then I got money, not the most because I'm obviously a small channel, but you can actually make a lot of money. It doesn't actually like depend on your subscribers. It's more about views and the niche you post in. But yeah, I got demonetized, so now I'm just chilling. Like, you know, I'm obviously in a rush to get monetized, but at the same time, it's like you gotta ride the wave, man, because once you get there, you sometimes don't know what you want to do with your content. So for me, I'm trying to figure out what do I want to do and where I can grow, so that by the time it happens again, I'm ready for it this time compared to the first time. And even if it happens that I won't ever get monetized, I still love doing YouTube, like regardless. So I could still share my videos, whether it's crap or whether I improve. Like, I just love the platform. You can tell like by how much I engage with it, even though I don't get the views and stuff, because I've been doing this for a while actually. But yeah, if that answers your question,
And
I
in
don't
the
make
world,
any
in a
money
single
off
day.
this.
You know, like there's only so
I
much.
just
But
enjoy
I
it.
know people do it. There are so many creators, even on YouTube, that do it right now. I mean, I have my moments where I post shorts and I post other things that we, you know, talk about. But posting that much in a day is insane. But some people do it. I'm sure there's, you know, it's beneficial in other ways. But like I said, that's the point that I'm telling
Baba, you know what to do. You know what to do.
you guys, that everybody is not like not getting paid. That's not the point. That's not the case.
And that's why I love you. That's why I love you.
However, you have a significant amount of creators. Your average creator right now is seeing a huge drop.
Are you gonna do more reaction content? Yes, I'm gonna do more reaction content, and that's just to build an audience. But I'm still gonna game. Don't worry about that. I'm still gonna game. It's just like the streaming thing kind of burns you out, man, like in gaming, and then I don't end up posting it because the vision I have for my videos takes too long, and by the time I post it, I should probably trust the process of making a video, try and like make it, because I used to do it. When I started out YouTube, I made videos whether I liked it or not. I edited those stuff, but I wasn't working back then. I literally, after I finished studying, for those who don't know, I don't know if it's still in my bio, I'm a civil engineer, so during the day I work, and at night sometimes it feels weird because like people actually know I'm doing YouTube and they could be watching what I was doing. So it feels weird. Some of my co-workers have said like they actually watch my content, but anyway, but you know what I'm saying, it's weird. But to get back to what I was saying, I used to make videos where I feel like I had more passion doing it, but over time I realized that like putting energy towards something and you don't see the results, it made me kind of like feel like, why am I doing this? Like, you know, like some series will get a high and then it will have lead a low. The same people who used to support you don't support you after a while. For example, if you play a role-playing game, some people would join you, like subscribe, talk to you. It's a jam. It's like, it's nice to stream. I won't really like forget it. At one stage I had 109 people watching me, and that's not even like, I was like a small content creator. I'm talking about less than 1,000 maybe perhaps, or 1,000 more, just more than 1,000. 109 people watching me. That was crazy. And yeah, I just never seem to like, you know, and my point is I will still be doing other stuff. I just feel like for now, this was the goal that I wanted to work to. Get a streaming setup, being able to do reaction content. Even if I'm streaming, I just need to find a capture card so that I can play on my PlayStation, because I do not want to play on my laptop. I don't like keyboard and mouse. You can play controller, but it's not the same. It's not like I'm saying I'm not gonna play on a controller and stuff. It's just like, for now, I guess I'm just like, I love this, like where I chat. You should react more to gaming related. Yeah, I will. Like for now, I'm just chasing trends, and you know, so like that's also another thing. Yeah, you know. You also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Yeah, like I mean, I'm just like, I just look at chat and I'm like, 5 people are watching it. That's crazy, bro. Like normally on this type of content, just days ago, I only had 2 people, me and my girlfriend, bro. So like having 3 people at least, it's showing positivity. So yeah, Anyway, we are supposed to watch TikTok, but we can go to gaming content. I just wanted to start out the stream with the main thing.
At this point. But
by the
know
way,
about this in the
I
comment
think
section below.
Yeah, so I left the creativity rewards program because it honestly was just like not worth it anymore. Granted, I was on the program for like a year and a half now, and while I was making a good amount of money last year, probably because I was like my account was a lot bigger and I was a lot more viral last year. Now it's just like died down a lot. Now it's like I'm not even making $100 a month. Maybe I think if I were to stay on the program now, I probably would have made $30 for next month. Like that's nothing. I'm wasting my time making these 1-minute videos, especially my Pimple Patch videos, because y'all love that type of content. But TikTok hates that content and loves to disqualify those videos. I swear to God, my Pimple Patch videos would go viral and I would get like a lot of views, a lot of comments, a lot of likes and whatever. Like it would get traction. And if it didn't get disqualified, it would be like $50 and up.
Baba, can you ban him? Like time out for like for all 24 hours. Thank you. I much appreciated. Cause like if you're being annoying, bro, like
it would be a good chunk of money. But because it's disqualified, I don't get that type of money. And it's like, damn. All that for what? It's also just like, as I've continued to be a creator, as well as do other things outside of my life that I don't really talk about on here, I have started to post a lot slower. And yeah, I get it. I feel like that kind of tanked my engagement, and now I'm like not really being seen by all my followers. Like I could barely get 1,000 likes now, which is like not the point. But because I don't have that big engagement as I did last year, I don't get shit. Like I'll get $1 or $2, but like that's $1 or $2 for a 1-minute video. That's like, I'm not gonna be making 1-minute videos when I'm busy with other things in my life, stressing myself to make quality content. And then when that quality content gets big, it gets disqualified. Or if I think I post a really good video, it doesn't get good traction.
That is even worse, dude. So like that's the thing I was hinting at. Like if you have videos, like for instance, when I got monetized, right? When I got monetized, I thought, okay, how can I use this monetization and multiply it, like money wise? Like, you know, like, okay, I finally can make money. I can put ads, but I need views. So I decided what best genre. Okay, so I jumped genres to anime. So I was like, okay, researching what can I do to avoid copyright, right? So I did everything everyone said. I still got claimed. So that's why I realized just do content, and like reaction is better if you add value to it. Like you talk, you discuss, you comment, like you even give credit to the people that you watch. That's different from, because I posted anime and I actually loved my edits. It was doing well. Unfortunately, like, yeah, you can't monetize that stuff. Or if you do, you gotta reach out to the people that produces the stuff. So maybe when I'm bigger, I'll make a separate channel for that and then reach out to people once I'm big. That like, because another thing people don't know about me, I'm a nerd. Anime, drawing, you name it, like gaming, like whatever, nerds, science, like, bro, I read a lot about science. So basically all those things, I'm that, but I don't show that side because if I'm gaming, there's no space for that. You can't talk about that stuff. So yeah, just a bit of context there.
So that's like barely $5. It's just not worth it, bro. Like as a creator who's been doing this for years, I know what makes the big bucks. I have gotten big bucks, and the creativity rewards program is just not cutting it. So I gotta like step off of it.
Stop taking meeting notes and let ClickUp AI Note Taker do it for you. It allows you to focus on your meetings, not your notes.
The government and the billionaires in our country don't want to see us with shit. Y'all do understand why they really took over.
Have you noticed the diversity of people actually using TikTok? Because like legit, like so far, like I haven't actually seen a lot of white people that were in this video, but like not that I'm saying it's just like I would have generally thought that more white people would be talking about this, but just the diversity of how many people are actually making a living from TikTok, like. But it's sad for this guy. I mean, like he said, his RPM dropped over 80%. That's kind of like rough. Because I mean, if you are just like having a normal job and then you did TikTok and you could like take your family on holiday, vacation, buy people stuff, you know, like what kids want and stuff like that. Like, I mean, they want PlayStations, they want PCs, they want, you know, I feel like I'm leaning more towards that. I wouldn't necessarily want my child to just go and study. If I have children, fortunately enough, God blesses me. Yeah, so, but what I was saying is like, you want to give your children a better life than you had. So I understand when you are older and now you're finally in a position where you can provide, but now it's taken of you, like from you and stuff like that.
Over TikTok, don't you? They saw China paying us very well. People were buying homes, traveling, vacationing, buying cars, doing so much till it got to the point where they said, you know what, I don't have to work a 9 to 5. This is my 9 to 5. If you notice, a year ago, we were making over $1, some people $2 per RPM. if you're making 20 cents per RPM, you're doing good now. It takes a person 10, 15, 20 million views to actually scratch the surface now. It's been about the money the whole entire time. They try to lie to us and tell us, oh, because China's stealing information. No, bullshit. Because if that's the case, China got a whole lot of their devices and apps and all kinds of shit in our country. They're not stopping none of that. It was the money the whole entire time. Because I'm seeing a lot of people on here talking about.
You see, like, that's a thing that I've realized. Once you actually like go up in the world, like money wise, you actually start to realize how it works. So China obviously like was a threat to the US, and like not a threat in that sense, but they came in with that like, oh yeah, China's the enemy, and like they want to spy on us, they were using this to influence, and that is true. Most of that stuff could potentially be true. However, the US is such bullies, and I'm not even saying this, I don't dabble in politics, but they are bullies because just because they didn't like what were done and the money that was made, because there's no app that can like compete aside from YouTube that can compete with TikTok, you know. So that money they were making, and this is all just from China, that they wanted a piece of that, and now that they do have their hands on it, they just like gonna run the app to the ground, at least from that side. I don't think it will happen because the TikTok in China is way different from like the way it's regulated in other countries. I'm not gonna say it's better, but I'm just gonna say it's not like how it is run now. I don't know much about TikTok. All I'm getting is from what people are saying. I don't like the app. I will always say it. I don't like the app.
How their RPMs is down to 3 cents. Are you kidding me? American governments and our billionaires want to see us poorer than we are today. This is what this has been.
I do want to point out, if it wasn't for TikTok, I wouldn't have had this reaction. So I wouldn't say like the app is bad. It's not bad. It's just not for me. Let me just put it like that.
About the whole entire time.
LOL that TikTok changed their payment system, their like creator rewards payment system, to where they are now paying literally.
Okay, well, like if you do reaction content, it's a bit of a gray area because like YouTube will obviously tell me like I'm watching other people and it's copyright and what. But I'm just going on the thing of fair use. I'm watching, but I'm also reacting, and obviously if I don't monetize the video, so basically like if I don't ask money for it, I should be fine. So like, I mean, you shouldn't use other people's stuff. If you do monetize it, basically if you post it with ads, and then you can get in trouble, because like I feel like I'm just reacting to the video, obviously getting a new audience and stuff like that. It's not always about money, but it's also like you get watch hours, so that's also one of the reasons I decided to stream. And you know, it's way easier to, like you said, you can give me suggestions and then I will watch, for instance, like, yeah. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, copyright. So far the reaction that I did on the other video, I didn't get a copyright claim or strike, so I assume it's fine. If YouTube comes back to me one day, like I said, that I violated the terms of service, then so be it. But so far I think I'm good. I'm pausing a lot. I'm not just like, you know, like watching video and leaving it, like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm actually talking, and I actually love this format, like I said. But exactly again, it doesn't protect you from like copyright. So
Literally nothing, like actually nothing. Like I know I've already seen a bunch of people talking about it today, and it happened to me too, like getting the lowest payouts we've ever had on this app. For all the years that we've been on this app, I've never had a lower payout. Bro, a couple of $100 for an entire month of content that you put out every single day, multiple times a day, that's insane. And I'm not really sure what chicanery that they're playing with this, but I've already seen a ton of people, and I have mutuals that have been talking about how they got millions and millions and millions of views, and literally a couple cents. This is crazy. So I guess if you're considering becoming a full-time content creator in 2026, maybe don't. It's one thing to have ebbs and flows and bad months. Every creator has had that. This is like a next level rug pull, and this isn't sustainable. But I can tell you that people are not going to spend the time that we spend crafting original, well-done content multiple times a day so that TikTok can give a couple of cents on a video that usually would have made like $80 to $150. What's crazy is that people's views didn't change. It was the same pattern over the last couple months. They just dropped the pay massively.
So far, I haven't received
how many real deal flavors?
So far, I haven't received the what do you call it? A copyright guidance. Okay, so okay. So let's just say, like, yeah, gaming, I guess. News. Let me say news, I guess. Okay, so biggest games, new leaks of the week. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna watch like stuff that were posted, I guess.
Ubisoft announced a big so-called reset.
Oh, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Joe Raptor. This guy is awesome. Like he's good in terms of like gaming news and stuff like this. So if you want like gaming news, he's like Joe Raptor is definitely up there. Like yeah. So let's just watch like the
This week that includes big changes. I got all the info. We finally got new Fable gameplay and info during the developer direct. I will go over everything that was revealed during that show. Also in regards to the other games, we got a big rumor regarding the next Star Wars Jedi title and way more gaming news to go over. So good at joining the weekly news roundup and let's go. Yes, let's unpack the Ubisoft news first and give you the most recent updates. You've likely heard that they cancelled 6 games this week, including the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. The other games were still unannounced. One was a mobile game with Ubisoft sources telling Tom Henderson that it was a city builder. One was a game in a known franchise, and the other remaining 3 were new IPs. But yes, the Prince of Persia remake was of course the big one here. We still only had the 2020 trailer, but the project should have looked very different after being delayed from its original 2021 release.
Dude, I remember the Sands of Time, bro. I finished the game, like, it was kind of cool. So if you died, you could reverse time, and like, it was kind of cool. You could use the time mechanic to slow down, reverse time in your fights and stuff like that. But you always had to have sand, so there's a limit to how much you can reverse time. But it was a cool mechanic back in the day. I remember I didn't own the game, my friends owned the game, and then it at some point, you know, all PS2 games had that point where it like hacked, or like what do you call it, it stopped working. So you had to take out the disc, clean it, and then play it again, like start the PlayStation again. And there's a sequence on the PlayStation, like once you get past that, you know the game is working. Otherwise it will just like you have to clean it again, open like you all know that process. So it's good memories from Prince of Persia, not gonna lie.
In a Twitter post, Ubisoft noted that while the project had real potential, we weren't able to reach the level of quality you deserve. And
wait, let me just record this, by the way, and I can actually upload it if I want to. I say all these things and I don't always.
Viewing would have required more time and investment that we could responsibly commit, which is crazy considering that they spent 5 years after that original reveal and still could not.
What was also cool, like about this game, in my opinion, it was the fact that like there was a protagonist, like a female protagonist, or what do you call it? Like it's like she was supporting a supportive. Yeah, but she was like kind of cool, and like the love, like the romance between them was kind of cool. Mind you, I was a kid back then, but like it was just something also that was cool about the game.
Not make it work. QA testers also told Tom Henderson that what they played wasn't great, so it seems like it was for the best that they did not release it in the early 2026 window as they originally planned. Still sad that we will now never see it, of course. Now, they also said that the cancellation does not mean that they're stepping away from the franchise, but I really don't think we will see another Prince of Persia game anytime soon. Next to cancellations, Ubisoft also delayed 7 unannounced games, including the one that was planned for before April 2026. Yes, this was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. This week, we first learned...
Do I mind reacting to Minecraft videos? Okay, we can probably, but do you like reacting to music? Music is a bit of a gray area again, like copyright. Like if it's music that are probably like free, and I've how can I say, if someone tells me like, listen, you can react to this music, and like, you know, because YouTube only copyright, or kind of it's a warning telling you, listen, you need to either sort out with the creator, and then they will on their side say like it's fine. Example is I did a reaction on rugby videos. I could actually do that, by the way. Let's do that afterwards. But like then the music that was used in the video, I got a copyright claim because I didn't have the rights to use it, the license to use it. But it said that the creator is fine because they know people react to those videos. So, and I think like the music that was being used, the owner of the channel is actually like, is it Diehard Rugby or something? But their videos are always cool because they have these compilations of like rugby videos, and I don't even know how you can react to those rugby videos without copyright. But I just think it's awesome. I think it's backwards, people like still having this copyright on stuff. All I know is how big creators also get away with like reacting to any type of video is because they have pool. They can obviously contact creators and say like, listen, I get 3 billion views, you'll benefit from this. And the other guy's like, like I will blow up, so why not, you know? Money wise, you probably won't get as much as the creator, but yeah, that's a sad part of like reaction content. You get big large creators that will obviously react to something and you'll get millions of views and you will just get little views. But I guess it's obviously the game, bro. Like, you can't be blowing up a small channel knowing that they won't get your views, while a large content creator, there's levels to this stuff, bro. They work their way through there. I used to hate, or not hate, but I used to not like when I post videos and I feel like it's just as good as someone that are larger. I mean, the amount of effort some of these people, like, I don't know if you guys know the Red Bread. I'm not saying any shade to him, but he has for consistently for years just posted videos where he doesn't even do smart edits. It's just him playing game and doing voiceovers and all these things. Yet he pulled in millions of views, but we don't know the hard work he put in before he got those millions of views. So again, when you're a small creator, you kind of have this mindset, I can do the same, I can make money, I can become famous and all these things, whatever you want to do on YouTube. But then again, you get reality checked and yeah, first video flops, 1 view, and that's probably you refreshing the page the whole time.
That the internal release date was March 19th,
I will
now it has been
after
delayed
this. I
by
don't
up
know
to a
what's
year,
like
meaning
this.
that it will release sometime before the Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft is saying the reason can to March profitability and Assassin's Creed Hexe. Like, I don't see how that game can turn a profit after 7 years of development. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is also still alive, with the budget reportedly being around 750 million euros right now. Again, I don't see how they can make that money back, but this title is said to be more like Starfield now, with QA testers speaking to Tom Henderson being positive about it, so there's at least that. But I really think that unless you're working inside Ubisoft on a major franchise like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, or Rainbow Six Siege, your future there is very uncertain. Ubisoft announced a brand new creative house structure. The first one focuses on the biggest franchises, the second one on PvE and PvP shooters, the third one on smaller but still potentially profitable live services, the fourth one on fantasy and narrative-driven experiences, and the fifth on family-friendly games. So Ubisoft says that this structure will allow for a better focus within the development teams and for more direct control over these franchises, but grouping these studios and brands also makes it much easier to sell them off to potential buyers. Like, we've not seen the last of their reorganization. They want to cut another $200 million by March 2028, which will likely see many jobs lost. They're also forcing everyone to return to the office for 5 days a week, which is likely another way to have something. Their market cap 95% to just 500 million euros, which is of course crazy, but I would argue that even with this big reset, the core issues remain. The fact is that Ubisoft as a company, at the Xbox Developer Direct, I first want to highlight 2 other stories for games that are high on my most anticipated games list. Crimson Desert has gone gold. This is the full team in Korea working on the game, easily around 300 developers or so in this picture, who likely worked on it for many years. So yes, this means that the game will indeed come out on March 19th, which is amazing news, especially since other major releases I was interested in, like 007, Seros, and the Black Flag remake, now have all been delayed out of March. I'm expecting big new info soon, and we'll of course cover that here on the channel, so stay tuned. Another game I'm very curious about is Control Resonant, with new market research now expecting the title at the end of Q2 2026 already, so late June or July.
Yo, that's gonna be awesome. Like, I watched the trailer, I still have to post it. Maybe I should redo that one in better quality with the mic. I think I should do that because the better quality in the mic is definitely gonna make a difference. But the point is, this game looks awesome. I played Control, the original. I was blown away by it. I found it as a weird game, but it's rewarding if you actually stick through all the nonsense that's going on screen, and the gunplay, everything was just cool. The fights do, or the missions do become repetitive, so I hope they worked on that. And the variety of the enemies after a while, yeah, but once you get past those guys, it should be fine. But the game, however, is not an easy game. I will say this. The DLC in particular, like, I still haven't finished that DLC. I just have one boss that I can't defeat. I came close, but I didn't. I will one time show that, but yeah.
Which is pretty ambitious, as I thought the 2026 date announced at the Game Awards was already a surprise. We will have to wait and see if that turns out to be correct. They're also still working on the Max Payne remakes with Rockstar, which we might see revealed this year. And let me know if you're looking forward to these revenue titles in the comments. As for the new titles shown at the Xbox Developer Direct, I was really impressed by Beast of Reincarnation from the Pokemon developers Game Freak. I thought the world, story, and exploration looked okay, but then they revealed the combat, and that looks surprisingly great. You can tell that it will feel really great to slash these monsters called Mushi, as well as the golems that represent more humanoid enemies. There's ranged combat, stealth, and you can command your dog in a more turn-based style of combat. There's also quite a bit of customization. I'm definitely putting this on my radar now. It's coming summer 2026 to Xbox, including Game Pass Ultimate, PC, PS5, and Steam. Forza Horizon 6 confirmed the leaked release date of May 19th. It looks stunning, of course. It's the biggest open world yet, set in Japan. You can collect 550 cars. There are new multiplayer features, like building things in the world together directly from your current location. You can customize an estate and invite other players. The crazy part is, though, that there's also a 4-day early access window, but exclusively to the $120 premium edition. And even if you have Game Pass Ultimate and already pay monthly, you still have to pay $60 to get that premium edition upgrade.
That's gonna reach a point where it's so hard to tell the difference between like how graphics are now and a few years from now. It won't even make sense to buy all these expensive components because the graphic difference from the previous console to the next is gonna be so insignificant. And if you have already the PC that can run stuff, you already have the pinnacle of gaming.
Instead of the usual $40. And this was after they, of course, also increased the price for Game Pass Ultimate, so pretty wild. As I predicted, Double Fine was also part of the show with a Pot Party game as a surprise reveal, but no, the biggest game at the Developer Direct was, of course, Fable. It offers the traditional open-world action RPG gameplay in a very, very beautiful-looking world, while also retaining the role-playing elements the series is known for. A highlight was when they said there...
Fable stuff. Okay, so... I guess I could react to, like... Let's see... Fermi Paradox. Yo Tyler, what's up, dude? By Kurs. Sucked. Let's just see the reaction first to see what is happening. In a nutshell, okay, what is this? Okay. Where are all the aliens?
Are we the only living things in the entire universe? The observable universe is about 90 billion light years in diameter. There are at least 100 billion galaxies, each with 100 to 1,000 billion stars. Recently, we've learned that planets are very common too. And there are probably trillions and trillions of habitable planets in the universe, which means there should be lots of opportunity for life to develop and exist, right? But where is it? Shouldn't the universe be teeming with spaceships? Let's take a step back. Even if there are alien civilizations in other galaxies, there's no way we'll ever know about them. Basically, everything outside of our direct galactic neighborhood, the so-called local group, is pretty much out of our reach forever because of the expansion of the universe. Even if we had really fast spaceships, it would literally take billions of years to reach these places, traveling through the emptiest areas in the universe. So let's focus on the Milky Way. The Milky Way is our home galaxy. It consists of up to 400 billion stars. That's a lot of stars. Counting one per second, it would take you 100 lifetimes to count them all. There are about 20
You know what's
billion
crazy? The universe is expanding still today, bruh. It's just growing and growing infinitely.
sun-like stars in the Milky Way, and estimates suggest that a fifth of them have an Earth-sized planet in its habitable zone, the area with conditions that enable life to exist. If only 0.1% of those planets harbored life, there would be 1 million planets with life in the Milky Way. But wait, there's more. The Milky Way is about 13 billion years old. In the beginning, it would not have been a good place for life because things exploded a lot. But after 1 to 2 billion years, the first habitable planets were born. Earth is only 4 billion years old, so there have probably been trillions of chances for life to develop on other planets in the past. If only a single one of them had developed into a space-traveling super...
Look, I have my opinions on this. On Earth, we only know of us. Outside, we don't know who's there. I mean, does it even matter if there's life out there? Because at the end of the day, we all have a purpose, what we have to do. If you're religious, if you're not religious, we have a purpose. So we don't have the time to probably figure out like what life is out there. Maybe one day in the future, someone will figure out how to contact the outside world. But I'm pretty sure they have their own stuff to do. Like, I mean, if we all have one creator, but we are kind of like, if you understand, like, we on Earth are one of God's creations, but we don't know about the others. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for all, who cares? Like, we are humans. To aliens, we would be like something else. We would also be aliens. Maybe they have a different word for that. So I'm not against the idea of there's aliens or something, because the word alien is just something that, like, you know, is not human, or, you know. So I guess it's interesting, but like at the same time, I don't think too much about these things. It will just break your brain.
We would have noticed by now. What would such a civilization look like? There are 3 categories. A Type 1 civilization would be able to access the whole energy available on its planet. In case you're wondering, we're currently around 0.73 on the scale, and we should reach Type 1 sometime in the next couple of hundred years. Type 2 would be a civilization capable of harnessing all of the energy of its home star. This would require some serious science fiction, but it is doable in principle. Concepts like the Dyson Sphere, a giant complex surrounding the sun, would be conceivable. Type 3 is a civilization that basically controls its whole galaxy and its energy. An alien race this advanced would probably be godlike to us. But why should we be able to see such an alien civilization in the first place? If we were to build generation spaceships that could sustain a population for around 1,000 years, we could colonize the whole galaxy in 2 million years. Sounds like a long time, but remember, the Milky Way is huge. So if it takes a couple of million years to colonize the entire galaxy, and there are possibly millions, if not billions of planets that sustain life in the Milky Way, and these other life forms have had considerably more time than we've had, then where are all the aliens? This is the Fermi paradox, and nobody has an answer to it. But we do have some ideas. Let's talk about filters. A filter in this context represents a barrier that is really hard for life to overcome. They come in various degrees of scary. 1, there are great filters, and we have passed them. Maybe it is way harder for complex life to develop than we think. The process allowing life to begin hasn't yet been completely figured out, and the conditions required may be really complicated. Maybe in the past, the universe was way more hostile, and only recently have things cooled down to make complex life possible. This would also mean that we may be unique, or at least one of the first, if not the first, civilization in the entire universe.
That could be true as well, because we don't know if there's life out there. We don't know if we're the only life. You know what I'm saying? That question will never be answered, no matter how much time we spend, because like I said, maybe like this is some things that aren't as important, like, you know what I'm saying? The goal, the purpose of us is different. But yeah, it's interesting to hear, like
2, there are great filters, and they are ahead of us. This one would be really, really bad. Maybe life on our level exists everywhere in the universe, but it gets destroyed when it reaches a certain point, a point that lies ahead of us. For example, awesome future technology exists, but when activated, it destroys the planet. The last words of every advanced civilization would be, "This new device will solve all of our problems once I push this button." If this is true, then we are closer to the end than the beginning of human existence. Or maybe there is an ancient Type 3 civilization that monitors the universe, and once a civilization is advanced enough, it gets eliminated in an instant. Maybe there is something out there that it would be better not to discover. There is no way for us to know. One final thought, maybe we're alone. Right now,
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Maze Runner, where they were just raised in this like maze, and like they don't know what's going on in the outside world, and they kind of like in this like sandbox where they can't escape. If they do escape, they learn more about what's in the outside world, and once they actually realize what the point is of them like being like raised the way they were raised, and now their memories were like, you know, wiped and stuff like that. Excuse. So it reminds me of that. Maybe sometimes it's better not knowing what is on the outside, because it might be bad for us, or our minds could not conceive, like we couldn't understand. Like I feel like our brains, I think we only use a certain amount of a certain percentage and potential of our brains, so it's kind of capped. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see, because if you use 100% of your brain, you'll be processing too much information all at once. It could be overwhelming. Example of that, what is that? Gojo. Basically, when you process so much, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's literally a epiphany of like how a human would be probably if they have 100% of like what they could do.
We have no evidence that there's any life besides us. Nothing. The universe appears to be empty and dead. No one sending us messages, no one answering our calls.
Wait, what? You said, I don't think aliens exist. Yeah, I guess, but you can't prove that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you don't know if there's life out there. And we call them aliens because we don't know. Like, you know, they're not human, or like, you know, that's what the expectation would be, because we were kind of created to live on Earth and only Earth. I mean, Musk was telling people that we can possibly move to Mars. We light years ahead of light years from that, because I mean, his idea of what I could understand is like AI learning how to make spaceships faster, and the faster they can make a spaceship that could possibly take them there, and like, you know, all this information. I know he's ambitious, but someone else would probably, like, you know, take over eventually. And yeah, that's the thing about civilization, or people, humans. We learn and we pass our DNA over, our informations through textbooks and stuff like that. So maybe one day people can live on Mars, and then they would be saying like, but what if we could travel to a new galaxy and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, like they said, like you keep creating these bases, but the thing is that the reality is we won't probably like able to do that, at least not in what we understand, like time and all these things. Maybe there's some point where time and all these things is the normal laws of physics is like, you know, the way we understand and process things, that doesn't apply. which will be different, I guess. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we kind of are what we have set the rules to, like, you know, to understand. What is making it sound? Okay, next up, let's see. Okay, so you asked after you can watch Unstable Simp. Is it SMP? What is this? Yo, okay. Oh, you mean the on the Unstable SMP, the world's largest Minecraft server, every player only has one life, meaning that if they die a single time, what the heck, bro? I don't know which one to watch, bro. I feel like this one would be the worst to watch because if I do, and it's also an hour long. Okay, let me just do this. But the thing is, I don't know which one to watch.
I'm currently surrounded by 5,406 chest minecarts, and my game sounds like this. Now, this makes absolutely no sense. Until you realize that this makes it so I can't break blocks, place blocks, eat food, use elytra, or pretty much do anything, since these chest minecarts are here to protect hundreds of thousands of exploited items. Or at least, that's what I thought. You see, it started when I was just flying back to my base at spawn. When I spotted a new player on the server Spoke heading to another person's base. And I was bored, so I decided to just pod invis and eavesdrop, since there's a proximity.
I feel like
if
I watch other people's content, this is gonna get...
An exploit that was patched years ago. How is this possible? I wasn't sure what exactly they were yapping
Especially
about,
since
but it had something to do with
he's like he just uploaded that video 3 days ago. Slow go. What can we watch? Let's go to the home page and see what's there. She has 0 viewers now. New games that will change the industry.
Once hailed as the self-proclaimed best female player in the gaming world,
I am the best female Warzone player.
Nadia's popularity has since plummeted, with her recent uploads getting fewer and fewer views after she was exposed as a fraud.
You're a cheater. You're a f***ing cheater.
My name's Ryan, and this video will cover the story of Nadia, a gamer who now faces the reality of 0 views and fading fame. Nadia's career took off amid the COVID-19 pandemic when she uploaded her first gaming video on YouTube in June 2021, where she played Call of Duty Warzone and claimed to have dropped a new world record with 44 kills. Months later, she began streaming the same game on Twitch, where in her first live stream,
I don't
she
know,
claimed to have 47 kills, a number that matched the recorded world record at the time,
I will have
helping
to
Nadia
see.
gain early traction, especially as a woman standing out in a male-dominated gaming scene. In succeeding uploads, she continued to brand herself as the best female player, amassing tens of thousands of views per YouTube video as Warzone became increasingly popular during the pandemic, reaching 100,000 players worldwide. Nadia also expanded to TikTok, showing her gameplay to audiences of
Dude,
at least...
I can say when I watch Nadia now, like not for that reason, because she's gay, by the way. I'm just saying, like in general, if you ever thought I was watching for other reasons, it's not that. I'm saying because of TikTok, how she blew up and how she was accused of cheating, and this is linked into this idea of her cheating, making videos of her cheating. By the way, I can see my camera's probably like very blurry because of the but I'm gonna stream like this. So basically, she was one of those creators that like kind of got her fame from like viral stuff, people accusing her of cheating, and I think she was that. Then she thought, okay, if I don't cheat anymore, like she can kind of. But the thing is, people knew you for cheating and they questioned your gameplay, because whenever she went to live performances or like live in like LAN events, she would always underperform. Like she didn't have dominance and stuff like that. So that could be a next video we could actually watch. Actually, like Fortnite content cheaters and all these things. I think I want to react to those type of things because that's more like my line. But yeah, let's just watch this video for now.
These 10,000 viewers per video. By sharing mostly short highlights with clickbait titles like the best female Warzone player, she quickly boosted her views and became one of the most watched gamers online. On Twitch, Nadia's growth was explosive. Starting from 0 at the beginning of 2021, she had nearly 16,500 followers by the year's end. By the close of 2022, her follower count skyrocketed to almost 1 million, with a peak average viewership on the platform of more than 7,000 by November 2022. Nadia's popularity earned her some collaborations with other creators like XQC and FaZe Swag. It even earned her an invitation from Call of Duty themselves to attend the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 reveal event, which is an invite-only event reserved for top players and select creators, giving them an exclusive chance to test the game before public release and demonstrate their skills in front of the community. However, as Nadia's popularity grew and she started appearing in official events, viewers began watching her gameplay more closely, which eventually revealed the gap between her online image and her real performance. While streaming, her aim, tracking, and recoil control looked too perfect to be real. Normally, aim slips with movement, but Nadia's crosshairs seem to lock on and move unnaturally smoothly.
I remember all these
recoil
videos.
control was also flawless, which is unusual.
Okay,
because
let me
Nazi
just
Warzone
do this.
normally kick out and make it harder to
What would
spam
I
a
say?
target.
But they initially, oh, I'm chilling. It's just, what?
GG's, monkey. Even when glitches occurred, Nadia's aim and tracking remained perfect. The person lagged back and her crosshair stays locked on perfectly.
Let's say
even after the
drama
gun lag.
news,
For
something
critics,
like
it
that.
appeared that Nadia was
Because
using aimbot programs that automatically
I want
help players
something
hit
that's more
targets. In fact,
engaging and like, or like YouTube drama. Yo, bro, it's so odd too. Let's check out, I guess, Chess Ikaru Nakamura Naka. I don't know what to watch actually at the moment. I don't know. That's the thing, I don't know what to watch. Any recommendation? Okay, I have 25 minutes video for you for recommend. It has 29 million views. Trust me, it's a banger. The Vanishing of Flight 370 by Lamino. Okay, The Vanishing. Ugh, sorry, I can't spell. Vanishing of Flight 370. By Lamino. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay.
Just let me know.
Malaysia Airlines led to a multinational search effort in Southeast Asia and Southern Indian Ocean that became the most expensive search. By the way, do you know this because what's your PC specs? Do you know this because like, cause I remember you said you like you somewhere in Asia. I'm not gonna say where, but you know only of this because you for some reason I don't know about this flight.
At Kuala Lumpur International Airport, a Boeing 777 is preparing for departure.
Well, I don't know every single thing. I just know I have is it 10 cores. My graphics card is RTX. Is it like 40? Is that a 4060 or something? What else? I will have to kind of like that, so I can look at the specs. But yeah, I only know about this cause this channel. Oh.
Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 is a daily passenger flight between Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia and Beijing, China.
370, to right of takeoff. Nice.
42 minutes past midnight, Flight 370 is given clearance to depart. On board are Captain Sahari Ahmad Shah, First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, 10 cabin crew members, and 227 passengers.
Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, number radar, good morning, climb flight level 250. Morning, level 250, Malaysian 370.
Sorry.
Malaysian 370, climb flight level 350. Level 350, Malaysian 370.
Less than an hour into the flight, the plane is cruising over the South China Sea at an altitude of 35,000 feet. The night sky is clear, and the weather is calm. Flight 370 is then instructed to signal air traffic control in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, as it is about to enter Vietnamese airspace. The flight controller in Kuala Lumpur says goodnight, with no sign that anything should be amiss.
Malaysian 370, Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, maintaining level 350. Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
1 minute and 43 seconds later, the aircraft suddenly vanished from radar screens at Kuala Lumpur, Ho Chi Minh, and Bangkok. This form of positional tracking depends on a signal being emitted by one of two transponders aboard the plane, and so its disappearance would suggest both transponders ceased to function, or the system was manually deactivated by someone on board. All subsequent attempts to contact and ascertain the whereabouts of Flight 370 are unsuccessful. The aircraft has seemingly vanished without a trace. After missing its scheduled time of arrival in Beijing some 4 hours later, Flight 370 is officially declared missing.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, like, normally when a flight goes missing, you obviously want to track the black box. The black boxes that are on, or black box that are on the plane, that obviously, if you can't find the plane, then you can't really find out what happened.
And in the wake of that announcement, the most expensive search effort in aviation history is about to commence. The search was initially concentrated around the location of the flight's disappearance between the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. The search area was soon expanded, however, after the Malaysian military disclosed additional information. Unlike the radar system employed by air traffic control, long-range military radar does not rely on transponders but use reflectance to track the position of aerial targets. A review of the data collected by the Malaysian military revealed that the moment of the contact with Flight 370 was lost, the aircraft had deviated from its scheduled flight path with a subtle turn to the right, followed by a prolonged turn to the left. The aircraft had then flown back towards and across the Malaysian peninsula before turning right near the island of Penang. It maintained this northwesterly heading until it escaped the radar's coverage. Over the next few days, the Strait of Malacca, the Andaman Sea, and the Bay of Bengal was scoured by a multinational fleet of aircraft and vessels, but there was no trace of Flight 370. Meanwhile, investigators began to analyze the aircraft's satellite communication records. Like all modern airliners, Flight 370 was equipped with a satellite communications terminal, or SATCOM, to send and receive transmissions to and from the ground. Prior to departure, the SATCOM terminal had logged onto the satellite network and established a connection with a ground station in Perth, Australia. That station then maintained a detailed record of all the incoming and outgoing traffic between it and Flight 370. This is what it contained. Prior to the flight's disappearance over the South China Sea, everything appeared to be working as intended. Then, at some point during this portion of the flight, the SATCOM link was severed. For whatever reason, the terminal ceased to respond. But 3 minutes after the flight vanished over the Andaman Sea, the terminal requested to log back onto the network. The SATCOM link was successfully re-established and was not disrupted again until nearly 6 hours later, when the flight is presumed to have crashed due to fuel exhaustion. During these final hours, 2 attempts were made to contact the plane via satellite telephone. Both calls were acknowledged by the SATCOM terminal and would have been routed to the cockpit. Yet, they went unanswered. The terminal had also responded to 5 automatic status requests.
Like, you know what those videos like do to me? Like, it kind of creates this like ominous like vibe, you know? Because like I see the video there, why search for this particular plane has been restarted. So like maybe they found new evidence. So I'm assuming in this video, the reason why is they never actually found the plane. But yeah, and that's what we're about to find out also, like how and why they can't find it.
In short, if the ground station had not heard from the aircraft in over an hour, it would transmit a signal to confirm the terminal was still online. While these transmissions did not contain any information about the flight's position, investigators were able to measure the distance between the satellite and the aircraft at the time of each transmission, based on how long it took those transmissions to be sent and received. This generated 7 rings of possible locations from which 7 of these transmissions are thought to have originated. By taking fuel consumption, speed, and other factors into account, flight path analysis indicated the most probable origin of the final transmission to be somewhere along this arc in the southern Indian Ocean. The search effort shifted accordingly, and as the region fell within
the math you would have to do, like, but obviously this is obviously just like on a technology they already have, but I'm saying before they could do this automatically and like with like computers and stuff, someone had to manually do their calculations, which is kind of as I had to quickly, oh sorry, my bad, I had to quickly switch on the light, man.
Jurisdiction of Australia, the Australian government took charge of the operation. Over the next few weeks, the search area was progressively refined to account for oceanic drift as well as improved estimations of the flight path. But this part of the southern Indian Ocean is so remote it took 6 days just to get there. A new fleet of aircraft and vessels gradually covered more than 4.5 million square kilometers of ocean, but Flight 370 was nowhere to be found.
You see, with like at least a boat, I think it's a bit easier to track that compared to a plane that like moves way faster. Like, so if your tracking system is out, it could be like you know the difference between a boat and a plane, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's probably easier to find a missing boat compared to a missing plane. I mean, that's if things go wrong like in this thing.
If the impact with the ocean had been sufficiently forceful, it was possible the resulting sound had been recorded by underwater listening devices known as hydrophones. This possibility was investigated, and 4 hydroacoustic monitoring stations had recorded something.
Oh, there was a crash.
While the timing and direction of the sound were reasonably consistent with the final satellite transmission, the estimated origin was not. The sound was in all likelihood caused by nothing more than geological activity. Flight 370 was also equipped with 2 underwater locator beacons which had a battery life of some 40 days, and as the deadline approached in early April, signals with a pulse and frequency somewhat similar to the signal emitted by the beacons were detected at depths of up to 3,000 meters. An autonomous submersible then spent weeks scanning the seafloor where the signals had been detected, but no wreckage was ever found. And nothing would be found until more than 16 months later.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. The ominous music and the guy who's talking sounds like an AI, dude. Like, so that just makes it more ominous, like, and sad, dude. Because imagine, like, you left, but no one knows, like, you know, where those people are. Like, or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll have to find out, but I'm just saying, like, it's kind of sad, dude. Yo, why did you recommend me this video? It's giving the Boeing 747. I get a weird vibe, lol. So do you think they were oh, you're saying what's your RAM DDR4? I will have to a very fast PC, lol. Yeah, like it is, but yeah.
When the discovery was made on the opposite side of the Indian Ocean. On the 29th of July 2015, a group of people were cleaning up a beach in Reunion, a small island to the east of Madagascar, when they stumbled upon this 2-meter-long metallic object covered in barnacles. Aviation experts quickly identified the object as a section of an aircraft wing known as a flaperon. Upon closer inspection, internal markings including dates and serial numbers conclusively ascertained that flaperon belonged to Flight 370.
Yo.
Even though Reunion Island is some 4,000 kilometers west of the search area, and more than a year had gone by since the flight disappeared, the location was...
But the thing is, it could have broken off and made its way to shore. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of possibilities. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or it floated up to the top. Yeah, it's a lot of possibilities.
Consistent with simulations of debris dispersal patterns, there was now tangible evidence that Flight 370 had crashed somewhere in the Indian Ocean. The discovery of the flaperon prompted numerous searches along beaches and shorelines of southeastern Africa, and at least 31 additional items of interest have since been recovered and examined. Some of these items include a section of the outboard flap from the right wing, a piece of cowling from one of the 2 engines, a partial door from the nose landing gear, a section of the vertical stabilizer, and a mangled casing from one of the embedded headrest monitors.
Wait, from what?
A section of the vertical stabilizer.
Whoa, Mozambique. Wow.
And a mangled casing from one of the embedded headrest monitors. 18 of these items were identified as either likely, highly likely, or almost certain to have originated from Flight 370, whereas only 3 could be confirmed. The remaining 11 could not be identified. There were no traces of an explosion found on any of the debris tested, nor was there any evidence of a fire, except for 3 small burn marks on one of the unidentifiable items. The search for debris was further aided by Earth observation satellites. Analyses of satellite imagery from March of 2014 uncovered a number of images which appear to feature man-made objects floating on or just below the surface in the southern Indian Ocean. However, the images were not nearly sharp enough to resolve any identifiable markings.
Yeah,
and
you can't really make out what
this debris was never recovered. A satellite image taken mere hours after the final transmission also captured what appeared to be a contrail.
Dude, this seems like, yo, if someone could solve this mystery, it would, like, yo, like, no wonder this video has like millions of views, because people are all wondering the same question. 29 million views, dude. That's crazy. Crazy. Let me see this person's channel. 5.87 million. Oh my word, this guy just released bangers, bro.
Distance away from the search area. A later analysis, however, concluded it was most likely a shadow from a somewhat linear cloud formation.
How long do you think the flight lasted?
Continued for months and eventually years before it was finally
I actually have not even noticed. Like, we will have to, like, probably listen. This video is giving
suspended in early 2017, by which point some 120,000 square kilometers of seabed had been scrutinized. The search effort was then resumed.
A lot of people are probably wondering why they would stop searching. It's just money, bro. Like resources that you could use to find other stuff. Because it's like a cold case. You can one day, if you find something, you can probably like open the case again. But like if you can't find something, it's probably better to just save your resources and spend it somewhere else.
By an American salvage company known as Ocean Infinity, but after more than a year of searching, they too came up empty-handed. Unless the final resting place of Flight 370 can be located, it may be impossible to determine exactly why it crashed. Nevertheless, there have been no shortage of theories.
What are some of those?
On the day of the disappearance, 2 of the passengers raised suspicion as they had boarded the flight with stolen passports, which immediately prompted concerns of a hijacking. But investigators were unable to link the 2 men to any terrorist organizations, and soon determined they had traveled under false identities because they were seeking asylum, not due to any nefarious intent. Similar suspicions were raised on one of the passengers where...
Now this is raising a question, not to be like insensitive or something, or is there a movie of this? Because like it would be interesting to see if there's actually a movie.
Identified as a flight engineer who might have possessed the necessary expertise to take control of a Boeing 777.
Usually you would have enough fuel in your reserve to just like maybe if something goes wrong, you can maybe like land somewhere safe. So if they did ran out of fuel, I'm pretty sure they could also have maybe decided to land somewhere in the ocean that I don't know actually can even land a plane in the ocean without people dying. I don't know, because obviously like it's like something coming down it, and like you don't really exactly have control of it. So I should actually research that, like can you actually do that? Yeah, you probably can't. That's why you should just keep it in the air. Can't look for locations to land it, I guess. I'm talking about like land, that's obviously an option, but if you're just in the ocean, nothing, and yeah, it's either GG, like not to be insensitive again, but it's literally there's nothing you can do.
7. Apart from the 239 persons on board, Flight 370 carried nearly 11 metric
Yeah,
tons
that
of
also, yeah, the doors will be closed because you well, how long I was right.
cargo. Among the items listed on the flight manifest was a shipment of lithium-ion batteries, which led some to suspect a fire might have broken out mid-flight. For instance, the crash of UPS Airlines Flight 6...
What I've also noticed with like flights specifically, like people wouldn't notice most of the time of if there is a mechanical issue. It passed all the tests in terms of like testing and like seeing there's nothing wrong with the plane. But mechanical stuff can, like, human error, like, oh, something just goes wrong. A bird flies into an engine. Not that it like ever does something. I'm just saying something happens. This reminds me of what's that movie called? Final Destination, bro. Everyone on that plane it was just that time, bro. Like there's nothing that could have been done. That's basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Of 2010 was the result of a fire that was ignited by a pallet of lithium-ion batteries. Another potential source of ignition would be an electrical malfunction. The crash of Swiss Air Flight 111 in September of 1998 is thought to have been caused by a fire within the electrical wiring above the cockpit. The fire damaged and disabled multiple avionics systems, including the transponders and satellites.
Yo, dude, like, sorry to pause so much, but like, just imagine like you on a flight and one of those flights or the flight you're on, this happens, bruh. Such like unlikely stuff, bruh. I guess this is the reason why statistics is a thing, because you probably want to detect these things early and always prevent it, but sometimes, like I said, it's your time.
And subsequent deviation from a scheduled flight path might have been a direct response to a fire. The two pilots may have turned back towards Malaysia to attempt an emergency landing at the nearest suitable airport.
As I was saying, like I also thought like something went wrong. They looked at the fuel to see, not that I'm saying, like, I was thinking to myself, if they had the reserved fuel, because obviously you would have to have, if you can't make it to a certain place, then you can at least go to the nearest landing place. But yeah, it still doesn't explain why they landed and then...
No such attempt was ever made. Instead, Flight 370 kept going and remained aloft for another 6 hours. Some have theorized the crew might have been incapacitated by a sudden or gradual loss of cabin pressure. For instance, when Helios Airways Flight 522 failed to pressurize in August of 2005, the pilots quickly fell unconscious. Yet the aircraft continued to fly on autopilot for more than 2 hours until it ran
hectic.
Fuel. Airline pilots are of course trained for such an event. In the event of cabin depressurization, an automatic system is designed to deploy oxygen masks to give the pilots enough time to perform an emergency descent to a more breathable altitude. The data recorded by the Malaysian military radar does indeed contain altitude information, but it is highly inconsistent. In fact, the Boeing 777 is incapable of performing the extreme altitude fluctuations recorded. At one point, the aircraft exceeded its maximum operating altitude by more than 15,000 feet before making a 50,000 feet nosedive in less than a minute. Attempts to recreate these maneuvers on a flight simulator were unsuccessful, and thus the data was deemed inaccurate and unreliable. If Flight 370 did lose cabin pressure at 35,000 feet, and the pilots were incapacitated before descending to more oxygenated altitude, it might explain why the aircraft remained aloft for as long as it did. What is a bit more difficult to explain, however, are these alterations in heading. Flight simulations have established the aircraft must have been under manual control during the initial left turn, as the bank angle or inclination of that turn was beyond the limits of the autopilot. Subsequent turns, however, could have been either manual or automatic. But for the autopilot to have made these course corrections, someone with the requisite knowledge...
Another reason why AI could never, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you need a human to do that turns.
Must have programmed it to do so. The only other alternative is that the aircraft was in fact under manual control. In late June...
Okay, let's just see. Okay, so pilot chief suspect. Okay, pilot. Pilot chief suspect in case of foul play. Captain of missing flight identified as prime suspect. Malaysian police investigation names this.
June of 2014, several news outlets reported that the special investigation had identified the captain of Flight 370 as a prime suspect. A search of the captain's home uncovered a flight simulator which supposedly contained a suspicious route which ended in the southern Indian Ocean. At the time, there was no official acknowledgement that such a route had been recovered, and a lengthy public report issued by the Malaysian government in 2015 made no mention of such a discovery. Then, in 2016, confidential documents pertaining to a forensic examination conducted by the Royal Malaysia Police in May of 2014 was leaked to the media. These documents made it clear that such a route had not only been recovered, but thoroughly examined. Soon thereafter, the Malaysian government confirmed the existence of this simulated flight path, and this is what it looks like. It should come as no surprise that many regard this as damning evidence of premeditation, but according to investigators, it is not quite so evident. The data recovered consists of 7 coordinates, 2 in Kuala Lumpur, 2 in the Strait of Malacca, 1 in the Bay of Bengal, and 2 in the southern Indian Ocean. The data was reconstructed from a file that had been automatically generated and saved by the simulation software a month before the incident. However, it's not clear whether the coordinates originate from the same flight session. In other words, it might not be correct to simply trace a continuous line between these 7 coordinates, as they could be from separate sessions. The forensic examination by the Royal Malaysia Police simply concluded no activity captured conclusively indicate any kind of premeditated act pertaining to the incident of MH370. Even so, the similarities between the simulated route and the presumed route of Flight 370 directly influenced the search operation. Australian investigators considered the possibility of someone deliberately extending the range of the flight by gliding the aircraft off the fuel exhaustion. If so, the plane could have traveled an additional 200 kilometers. Alternatively, the range could have been reduced by controlled ditching prior to fuel exhaustion. While ultimately deemed unlikely, these 2 scenarios did affect the search effort. If the captain steered Flight 370 off course with intention of crashing in a remote part of the southern Indian Ocean, his motive is an even greater mystery. Zahari Ahmad Shah was 53 and married with 3 children. He had more than 18,000 hours of flight experience and a spotless track record. Investigators found no evidence of financial issues, and his monthly expenses before the disappearance indicated nothing unusual. He had no history.
It's always interesting when they like to see like motive. They always look at like your history and like love life, and like, you know, your life generally was a mess, and what could potentially be the reason why you would commit suicide. I hope it's not the case. Because I mean, if they're still looking for it, I don't know if they have the answer why this happened. I hope they will find out at least what happened. But if they did really know what happened, they wouldn't have still been searching for it. Maybe they just want to find it, and they can finally like, you know, close this chapter, I guess. I don't know. We have to see, but I just have a feeling they probably don't know yet.
Displayed any recent changes in lifestyle or behavior. He was raised on the island of Penang, which has led some to speculate the flight's second turn to the southwest of Penang was the captain getting a final view of his hometown. Some believe the hijacking could have been politically motivated, as Zahari was an avid supporter of a democratic opposition leader who was sentenced to 5 years in prison mere hours before Flight 370 took off. Others point to unconfirmed reports of marital issues, but this is contradicted by the official investigation and disputed by family members. The only real inconsistency noted by the final report is that the captain failed to repeat the assigned radio frequency during the last verbal communication.
Malaysian 350, contact HML 120.9.
It would have been standard procedure to repeat the assigned frequency, as the captain had correctly done a few minutes prior.
370, contact Lampu Radar 13269. Alright, 13269, Malaysian 370.
Whether this omission is indicative of anything but a mistake is anyone's best guess. By all accounts, Captain Zahari was an affable and well-respected pilot who was passionate about aviation, as evident by the photos and videos he shared on social media.
Hi everyone, this is a YouTube video that I made as a community.
Nah, bruh, he's a YouTuber, so of course this wasn't for content. Yeah, so Like, it was just a small joke, but like nah, like for me, from what I could tell, like I don't think he had any reason. And it seems like this guy just summarized every like thing, and like they probably still don't know why this happened. It's kind of sad still though. Video from Zari's YouTube channel. You know, it's actually weird watching someone that's actually passed on. Like, you know, it kind of feels like they're still alive.
The co-pilot was found to be even less conspicuous. Farouk Abdul Hamid was only 27 and due to marry a fellow pilot. He had nearly 3,000 hours of flight experience, although only 39 hours in this type of aircraft. Much like Zahari, Farouk had no financial, mental or interpersonal issues of note, nor was there any evidence of conflict between the two of them. Some questioned the plausibility of a pilot-instigated hijacking due to the apparent lack of interference by the other pilot. Well, when Ethiopian Airlines Flight 702 was hijacked by the co-pilot in February of 2014, it did so by merely waiting for the captain to take a bathroom break before locking the cockpit door behind him. The co-pilot was then free to divert the Italy-bound flight to Switzerland to seek asylum. The only noteworthy piece of evidence in regards to the co-pilot of Flight 370 is his phone. You see, when the confidential documents were leaked, they also confirmed another long-circulated rumor, namely that the cell phone tower had briefly established a connection with an iPhone 5S belonging to the co-pilot as Flight 370 approached the island of Penang. According to investigators, it was not a phone call as has been widely reported by the media, but merely an automatic location signal. Why this information was omitted from public reports, we may never know.
Yeah, he's done. Any recommendations? Oh no, then.
So what is one to make of all of this? On the one hand, the simulated flight path seems suspicious. On the other, it is difficult to cast
kind of those type of videos, yeah.
It is equally difficult to deny a hijacking is consistent with the available evidence. Then again, we're missing some quite major and literal pieces of evidence. The final report issued by the Malaysian government in 2018 could not attribute the loss of communication nor diversion of Flight 370 to a malfunction. Instead, it is believed that someone manually manipulated the aircraft and its systems. For instance, investigators believe SATCOM was manually disabled by a sudden and prolonged interruption of power. Then, once power was restored, the terminal simply rebooted. Likewise, the alterations in heading are believed to be the result of manual inputs. With that being said, the uncertainty of these findings are repeatedly emphasized due to the limited evidence available, and the report does never explicitly state the flight was hijacked. In fact, no real conclusion is reached. Both the Malaysian and Australian government agree that Flight 370 crashed in the southern Indian Ocean, but that the cause is indeterminable without the wreckage, the location of which has managed to elude some of the foremost aviation experts in the world, as well as an impressive arsenal of cutting-edge technology for more than half a decade. Authors, aviation experts, and independent investigators have all chimed in to offer their own thoughts and theories as to the nature of the crash and the location of the wreckage. Some believe there was no crash, but that the aircraft was shot down by an American naval base in the middle of the Indian Ocean. The satellite transmissions were then supposedly forged as part of a massive cover-up. Others believe the aircraft turned right towards India and traveled as far north as...
That could be true though, because like some point like they couldn't locate it, so like it went offline, like not offline, but like the system that was tracking it was kind of like off, and then when it like worked, so it could have been hacked. I don't know, but can you actually act on fake information? I don't know, but it just seems weird that like no one has ever found something. And but what happened to those people if they did do this? So that's the thing, like people don't just disappear from Earth. You don't have like a full plane of people wanting to disappear, and you know what I'm saying. So it would be weird. Yeah, it's just like most likely not the case.
As Kazakhstan, completely undetected. Debris was then supposedly planted along shorelines of southeastern Africa as part of a massive cover-up. Another theory suggests the aircraft was remotely hijacked and controlled by someone on the ground. While Boeing and other companies have experimented with technology that would allow for an aircraft to be remotely controlled, no commercial airliner is known to be outfitted with such a system.
Yeah, imagine.
On the less conspiratorial side, the assumption that Flight 370 flew in a straight line and at a constant speed after turning left towards the southern Indian Ocean might simply be incorrect. In early 2018, a French team of independent investigators proposed an alternate flight path, whereby an attempted landing on Christmas Island led to a crash site much further north than the region identified by the official investigation. While a surface search of this area was conducted about a week after the disappearance, the underwater phase never reached this far north. As of the making of this video, the search operation has been suspended, but there have been talks of potentially resuming the search. For now, it seems, the vanishing of Flight 370 will remain a mystery.
Let's see the new clues.
12 years after Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared over the southern Indian Ocean, the search is back on. New analysis has narrowed the likely crash zone, raising the possibility that this could be the last attempt to uncover what happened.
Yeah, like, I mean, you would expect with the technology we have at our disposal, you would at least, like I said, like, it's probably like easier to track a missing boat or crashed, like boat that crashed or like is like in the ocean somewhere. A subracket's obviously like, I don't know, it seems like it's easier to track than a plane, bro, because like it relies on geolocation, like, or I don't know if you call it geolocation, but the point is like it's something that you can manipulate the information, like they said, potentially hack it and what. The other thing is also when it crashes, the speed it moves, like the last location could, like, you know, could potentially be out by like, let's say a few meters, and because of that, like, you know, ocean moves, it's just a whole lot can go wrong. Like, point is like, yo, this is scary stuff. It's sad and scary, and like, yo, like, how does a plane just disappear, bro? It's like the Bermuda Triangle, but at least you get like what happens there, like people know what happened to the plane because of black boxes. But if you can't find a black box,
Special sea exploration company Ocean Infinity officially restarted the search for MH370 in late December 2025. This isn't a wide check everything plan like the ones from before. It is specifically aimed at a certain spot on the seafloor. After years of research and data analysis, the mission focuses on a newly discovered area in the southern Indian Ocean. The company's main ship, the Armada 8605, reached the search spot in early January 2026, loaded with underwater drones. And what makes this new search really special is the no find, no fee deal made with the Malaysian government. Under this agreement, the government will only pay a fee of up to $70 million if the company actually finds the wreckage or the flight recorders. This shows Ocean Infinity's belief in the new data. Using the calmer weather of the southern summer months, the team plans to revisit sections of the area that were previously missed or deemed too difficult to search. On the night of March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 moved onto the runway at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, bound for Beijing. On board were 227 passengers from 14 different countries, along with a crew of 12. For the first
again, with that theory that I said, like, so many people, no one would agree to just like disappear off the planet unless you know what I'm saying. So like, highly unlikely that they went somewhere and no one spoke, no one saw anyone, and like, you know, so I do believe that it crashed. Like, it's probably a fact that it crashed, but again, we don't know.
40 minutes.
But the thing is, what am I saying? There was literally pieces of the plane, so it isn't like, you know what I'm saying? It can't not have crashed. But at the same time, 3 pieces were tied to, and not like all, like 11 wasn't. So did I get the facts wrong? But all I know is like 3 could be tied to the plane, and the rest was just like not compatible. So yeah, I don't know. Which points to a crash, but we'll see. I don't know. What do you guys
was
think?
Completely normal. The airplane climbed to its normal flying height of 35,000 feet. Communications with air traffic control were normal. At 1:19 a.m., as the plane was about to leave Malaysian airspace and enter Vietnamese control, the last words from the cockpit were uttered: "Good night, Malaysia 370." And then the plane made a sudden turn. Seconds after that last radio message, the plane's transponder was turned off on purpose. The airplane disappeared from the screens of air traffic controllers. However, military radar told a much more sinister story. Instead of going toward Beijing, the plane made a sharp, quick left turn. It flew back across the Malay Peninsula, went around the tip of Sumatra, and headed northwest toward the Andaman Sea. It finally disappeared from military radar range at 2:22 a.m., far over the ocean with no radar. And
this shows that the person knew where exactly they could like get out of range. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you as a flight, like as a pilot, you would have to know this, like where exactly like you would lose range and people wouldn't able to track you if you switched off this. So that does raise the question, like, that maybe the pilot was in on this, and I don't know, bro, but what does he get out of this? That's the thing. What does he get out of this? Because something went wrong.
And no radio contact. The world thought the plane was gone, but hidden signals left a trail across the sea. A small satellite data unit on the airplane kept working. For the next 6 hours, it automatically sent handshakes or pings to a satellite circling over the Indian Ocean. By studying the time it took for those signals to travel, scientists figured out that the plane had turned south and flown thousands of miles. The data showed the flight ended.
You see what I'm talking about? By the time they analyzed the data, the plane wasn't there anymore. So, like, again, if the last known location before they lost any, if you go there, the plane would probably most likely not be there, because it moves at such a high speed that by the time you get a location, it's not there. So, like, I mean, we've established that point, but I'm just saying, like, it's very difficult to track it. Like,
ran out of fuel and fell into the water near a curved line on the map called the 7th Arc. Over the years, ideas have ranged from a catastrophic failure to a ghost flight where the crew and passengers passed out from a sudden loss of oxygen. Some investigators have pointed to the captain, noting that a home flight simulator he owned had a deleted flight path that ended in the southern Indian Ocean. Yet without the wreckage, none of these ideas could be proven. The official 2018 report said the plane was turned on purpose, but investigators admitted they simply didn't know who did it or why it happened. In the years after the disappearance, pieces of the crash started to show up on faraway beaches. For an aircraft of this size, investigators expected hundreds of fragments. Instead, fewer than 30 pieces have ever been confirmed. The small number tells investigators something unsettling. Most of the plane didn't break apart at the surface. The first major piece was found in July 20.
This game, you're not ready for it.
15. On the shores of Reunion Island, a French area near Madagascar. It was a flaperon, a part of the wing used to control the plane's roll and lift. A special number inside the piece proved that without a doubt, it came from MH370. This find was the first real proof that the plane ended up in the Indian Ocean. After this, other pieces started washing up in Mozambique, South Africa, Tanzania, and Madagascar.
How though? How, bro? Mozambique, South Africa.
Madagascar. These included parts of the engine cover, a horizontal stabilizer, and pieces from inside of the cabin, like a closet door and parts of a seat. The Indian Ocean's currents play a critical role in interpreting the debris. Unlike the Atlantic or the Pacific, currents here
Oh,
are
that
shaped
makes
by
sense
seasons.
though, because I was like, if it's this part of the area, then how does it end up here? Because isn't Malaysia, like they were saying, is somewhere here, right? But it's Asia, so maybe that side. But the point is, like, for it to travel maybe from that area all the way to here, it makes sense that, yeah. So as it moved past, it went to shore, and then some of the pieces probably moved here and then just get lost, because I mean it can go anywhere from here, but yeah, you can still move along the shore or whatever. I don't know, bro. I don't know much about like
Seasonal winds
how it
that
works.
change direction throughout the year. In the southern Indian Ocean, cold sub-Antarctic waters move eastward, while warmer surface currents gradually curve north toward Africa. This means that debris doesn't travel in straight lines. A fragment can spend months trapped in slow-moving tides before suddenly entering faster currents that carry it thousands of miles. Even small differences in where the plane entered the water could drastically change where the debris eventually washed ashore. By modeling these shifted currents backward, researchers can narrow down where the wreckage most likely lies, reinforcing the focus on a specific stretch of the seventh arc. And these pieces are more than just junk metal. Scientists studied the types of barnacles growing on the flaperon, and they were able to tell the temperature of the water the pieces had floated through.
Yo, that's actually smart, dude. Like, people are so clever, bro. Like, who would have thought, like, okay, but if the thing spent some time there, it had ocean life growing on it, like, or something, and then you can track that because it only grows in a certain region. It's actually interesting also how people know where exactly that, like, happens. Yo.
This natural diary showed that the pieces had spent a long time in the colder, deep waters of the southern Indian Ocean before drifting to the warmer currents that carried them to Africa. The condition of the pieces also gives hints. The lack of fire damage or chemical marks suggests there was no explosion in the air. Also, the way the flaperon was torn from the wing suggests it was not in the open position used for landing, which could mean the plane hit the water in a fast dive instead of a smooth landing. Every piece found confirms that the crash site is somewhere along the seventh arc, giving the base for the current search. But everything we've just covered leads to a bigger problem. For years, investigators searched, and they found nothing. Between 2014 and 2018, more than $150 million was spent on the search for MH370, making it the most expensive ever. Despite all this work, nothing was found. This failure wasn't because of little effort, but because of the huge size and the tough conditions of the search area. Huge underwater mountains meant the search was extremely difficult. The southern Indian Ocean is one of the most far away and harsh places on the earth.
You know what they say about, like, when you want to search for something or you want to find something, you don't find it, but when you don't, then it turns up. So maybe this is one of those cases where, like, if we don't search it, like, it will eventually, like, you know, evolve. That's also what happens with cold cases. Like, you know, sometimes it leads, like, the leads, like, go cold and you don't know where, and then years from now someone comes and says, like, finally present some new information, and then you can open the case again. But again, I think, like, the resources, man, look at how much money they spend. That's a lot of money, and they did find a bit information, but I mean, watching the video, they probably know more than they showing or, like, presenting online. But I mean, it's just scary, man. Like, yo, like, like you said, a lot of families don't know what happened. You know, obviously they know that the people probably are most likely not here with us anymore, but it is crazy, man. Like, I can't watch those videos, bro. Like, yo, like, I can, but it makes me sad, man. That you're alive. Some people didn't even make it past that night.
The search area sits right in the roaring 40s, a zone famous for steady, strong winds and waves that can reach the height of a 4-story building. Below the surface, the ground is even harder. The seafloor is full of giant underwater volcanoes, deep holes, and sharp ridges. In some places, the water is 19,000 to almost 23,000 feet deep. Earlier searches used towed sonar tools or long cables pulled behind a ship. Because these cables were miles long, they were hard to move. If the plane crashed behind an underwater mountain, the sonar waves would bounce off of the top.
If you think about it, 7 kilometers of water, like, from the top surface to the bottom, that's a lot of water, bro. How the flip are you gonna find, like, something? Obviously you can use, like, there is technology to find it, but it's, again, money. Like, and you don't even know what you're gonna find. Look at them, like, they're desperate to find something because they're gonna get something back. Obviously a lot of families rely on that information. They want peace. People want peace. I mean, wreckage is like kind of like history. Well, it can teach you something, like, you know what I'm saying? If you know what happened, you can prevent it. But if you don't know what happened, you can't really prevent or look out for, like, you know, if they maybe perhaps know who did it, they could like look at people, identify before they even aboard a plane that like these people are particularly acting weird on the day and must stop the plane, even if they don't know, you know. So like, yeah, it's just, there's a lot you can learn, I guess. And I think it's also the case of what do you call it, is the hankering or itch to solve the case, because I mean no one so far could like get anywhere close to solving it. So whoever can solve it will make money, because they can probably sell it and make a documentary and all those things, movies, you know. Not that it's all about money, but I'm just saying like that's what most people probably think. If I can find this, get this information, I'm rich, you know.
Leaving the area behind it hidden. It is possible the search ships passed within miles or even directly over the wreckage without ever seeing it. Another major limitation of earlier searches was the assumption about the aircraft's last moments. Many search models were built on the idea that MH370 continued on autopilot until fuel exhaustion, flying in a relatively straight line. This produced a broad search corridor, but it left little room for small deliberate changes near the end of the flight. Even a brief manual input, a shallow turn, a controlled descent, or an attempt to avoid severe weather could have shifted the crash site by tens of miles. In terrain as complex as the southern Indian Ocean seabed, that matters. The difference of just a few miles could place the wreckage behind a ridge, inside of a trench, or in a sonar blind spot that earlier equipment simply couldn't see.
That's what I was saying, bro. Like, your triangulation of where that thing is needs to be so accurate, like, or not accurate, but in the range. Otherwise you'd be wasting your resources, because just think of it, if you go slightly to the right and you have your triangle or whatever they use to pinpoint what in which location it should be, or I'm assuming it supposedly should or would be, yeah, like I said, if it's out of that range, you're wasting your money and you won't find anything. So, hey man, you need the smartest people on this planet to find this thing.
There were also practical limits. Ships only could operate during certain seasons. Weather frequently forced pauses, and search vessels had to balance speed with coverage. In some areas, sonar scans were spaced wider than ideal to cover more ground quickly. These compromises were
luckily, like, everyone's like goals are aligned. Everyone wants to, you know, find the whatever happened, and you know, and it's all in good spirits. And like I said, yeah, there are some people who are out there obviously for the money, but yeah, that happens. Because now the world is not perfect or clean or anything, but yeah, but basically what I'm saying is like at least they haven't given up, so that's a good thing.
Unavoidable at the time, but they left gaps. The current mission is designed specifically to return to those gaps, armed with better maps and far more precise tools. The 2026 search is completely
different.
different.
Sorry, the other thing I want to say, like what I'm getting from this video, or like what he's saying, is like, if they miss something, at least if you feel like you missed the areas, if you then go and look in those areas and still find something, find nothing, then at least you cleaned up that area, so you know it's not there. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that is good, like to go back and see, okay, we missed these areas. So it might take years by that definition of how they're gonna do it, like search and eliminate where it possibly can't be. And yeah, so that's kind of interesting.
Because of two big improvements: better data planning and stronger robot technology. The most exciting is the use of weak signal propagation reporter.
I didn't record, so if I ever want to make a video, I would probably have to download the stream and then make a video. So I will look at the quality, maybe I can do that. Yeah, it won't probably be as good, but yeah, since yeah, I didn't record because I didn't know exactly, like, let's see the stream first and see if there's any copyright and stuff like that. If there isn't any, then I will like maybe likely chop the video and upload it, even if, because at least the sound quality is good. You can excuse, I always say this, you can excuse like maybe video quality, but bad sound quality is worse. So yeah, hopefully like it's not as bad, because it doesn't sound bad to me, but yeah.
Or WSPR technology, a worldwide network of low-power radio signals used by amateur radio fans. It's like a huge invisible web of radio waves covering the Earth. When a huge metallic object like a Boeing 777 flies through these signals...
Sorry for speaking so much also, but I also realized what you said now is like, usually with like, when you're solving a mystery, you try to eliminate all the stuff that it's not, like, so by method of elimination, like they said. In science, we use deduction, which is like moving from the general to the specific. So if you eliminate everything in the general, so okay, these are the areas we've searched here, now we're kind of moving to a smaller specific place that we can get. So like you said, you're moving closer to the answer and not further away, but sometimes also moving like when it feels like you're stepping, like you're taking 3 steps back and moving 1, that's also progress, because yes, you may have like spent a lot of money, but at least you know more than you did yesterday, I guess. So yeah, and sometimes we like to tie like time to these things. Most investigations takes years. Yeah, so sometimes it doesn't even get solved in your lifetime. So yeah, but it's just, yeah, it's cool. Thanks for recommending the video. Like, yo, I would have never discovered
but
this.
Noticeable shakes, or a tripwire effect. By studying old WSPR data from the night of the disappearance, researchers have found hundreds of those shakes. By connecting those points, they've drawn a clearer flight path for MH370. This suggests the plane was not just drifting, but it was being flown in a way that avoided being seen, eventually leading to an area south of earlier search zones.
What I was saying, bro, the pilots knew where they couldn't be tracked. Because think of it as a backup plan. You can set off like trackers or whatever, but at the same time, people have technology to track, right? But one thing most people can't get around is technology has limits, right? So limits is if you have a certain radius you can cover, like, okay, planes are here. There's a reason why you have to have this, because if you have planes constantly going, you need to be able to track when a plane's going to go into each other. That's why flight times are important. We all know what happened when in America, when they fired people that are capable of planning this months ahead, days ahead, like, you know, yeah, so that's kind of why you fly at a certain time and all this thing. But the point is, these people are also smart. The pilots, they know where exactly they can't be traced. So, but again, if that is the case, why if you're gonna die, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I say if it's that theory, then something went wrong, but they did say that something burned, so maybe they weren't aware of that. So they were aware of their fuel usage and where they're going and all those things, but something went wrong.
Not everyone agrees on how much weight this data should carry, though. WSPR was never designed to track aircraft. It's a hobbyist radio system, not a surveillance network. The signal disturbances it records are extremely subtle. Critics argue that weather patterns, ionospheric conditions, or even unrelated aircraft could have potentially produced similar shakes. And because of that, some aviation experts warn against using WSPR as a standalone solution. They argue that it should only be used as a supporting layer of evidence, combined with satellite data, drift modeling, and radar records. Supporters counter that WSPR's strength isn't precision, but volume. The signals come from thousands of transmitters spread across the globe, creating a dense web of data.
Oh yeah, so then you can triangulate it. So if it was yeah, so you can take the average of that and it probably lines up.
In 2014.
Just you, building your app.
That's kind of like, because I was thinking about it, it can't be accurate because you're moving so fast and you have like, yeah, it's
on base 44.
Like we all know, like
describe it.
GPS and stuff like that, it's not always accurate. We always know we have to calibrate those things.
Any independent disturbances line up along the path, they argue that it becomes statistically harder to dismiss. In this search, WSPR isn't replacing earlier evidence. It's being used to refine it, narrowing where investigators should look, not claiming to solve the mystery on its own. At this point, there are no new theories left to test, only evidence left to find. Ocean Infinity is also using a technology called swarm robotics. Instead of one sonar tool on a long cable, they send out a group of Hugin Autonomous Underwater Vehicles, or HAUVs. These drones aren't tethered to the ship, they work on their own, diving deep to the ocean floor and moving in a matching pattern. They have higher quality sonar that gives picture-like images of the seabed. Because they can fly so close to the bottom and move around obstacles, they can look into the shadows that stopped the earlier missions. These drones can process data using onboard AI, which can tell the difference between a natural rock and a man-made thing like an airplane wing with amazing accuracy.
At least there's one thing AI is good for.
Finding the main wreckage would do more than just solve a mystery. It would provide the real truth of what happened in the cockpit. And
what are people saying? Yeah, bro, it's a banger.
Of the plane will be the first big clue. If the main body is mostly intact, it suggests a...
The only problem is it's gonna be a long video. So yeah, like I mean, I've been watching this probably like for how long now? Like I think it's 25 minutes, add like maybe 10 minutes from me talking, and then this like further 30 minutes, but I'm also talking for a long period, so it's probably gonna be a 50-minute video, which I think could be like really useful if the quality of the video is not as bad, you know what I'm saying? So I could potentially do it.
Controlled landing, where someone tried to set the plane on the water. If the plane is broken into thousands of pieces scattered across many miles, it confirms a fast, straight-down dive. The most important things to recover are the 2 flight recorders. Even after 12 years, the memory inside is probably still in good condition. The flight data recorder would reveal the aircraft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they could recover the black box, it's properly sealed. So that's why, like, that's a kind of good technology. Sorry, that like people have designed like a failsafe for, like, you know, those last few minutes, which sucks. It's probably very sad, but it helps a lot in terms of like understanding what exactly happened. And this got me thinking, like, imagine like only relying on sound, and you need sound experts, because what may sound for someone like it's like flames or fire that broke out, and then someone hears something else. So like it's amazing like how this dude, is crazy actually.
Graphs exact condition, engine performance, fires, or electrical failures. The cockpit voice recorder, which only keeps the last 2 hours of sound, could capture the flight's last moments, including who was in the cockpit and what was said. Finding the plane could also stop the ideas that
Okay,
surround
so it records, but like as it like, because it's only the last 2 hours, so if it probably there's something that triggers like the last two hours of recording. So like if there's a crash, then it knows whom, okay, delete all the other stuff that are waste, like, you know. So because a crash only happens in 2 hours, and like not happens in 2 hours, but you get what I'm saying, like it won't span over like 50 minutes or whatever. So that's kind of cool to know that, because it's also like when you record like video, after a day you might just like delete the video. You only keep like maybe like certain hours of the day, because I mean like video is space, and space, like, you know, in this case it must now sound, so it's obviously not probably like that large, like the files. But yeah, again, it's just, and they probably check that regularly to make sure there's no faults with that stuff. But at the same time, it's supposed to be stuff that you don't easily get to, so I don't know if that, but this raises a lot of questions, like actually, like how do they actually do that, like yeah, but that's more on the technical side, and like, yeah.
MH370 for over 10 years. It would end the guesses about the plane being stolen or taken to a hidden base or shot down. For families, this search has never really been about theories or technology. For more than a decade, they've lived without certainty. No wreckage site, no conclusive report, and no place to grieve. Many families have described the loss as an
it's
open
like
wound.
basically like these people can't move on. Like it's like they know the people might be like dead, but at the same time it could be alive. It's highly unlikely. But I'm just saying that they could be alive, because something in the thought of like someone coming to you and telling you, listen, this person is no longer with us. But if you have no body, your brain automatically can create this like narrative of like that person, nah, you're lying, that person is gonna come, like, you know, at some point. And you know deep down that is not the case, but your brain can still pull that, like, you know, and say like, but like, is he really gone? Are they gone? You know what I'm saying? So that piece, that like closure, like they say now, that's the right word, you can only get when you find bodies, belongings, you know what I'm saying? Something that can prove that the person is no longer with us.
One that never healed because the question of what happened was never answered. Finding the wreckage would not undo the loss, but it would end the waiting. It would turn a disappearance into a confirmed tragedy, allowing memorials, investigations, and remembrance to finally move forward. For some families, it would allow them to have a resting place for their loved ones. For the flying industry, it would mean the chance to make new safety rules so a plane can never disappear like this again.
That's what I'm saying. You need that information, bro, like to plan and to obviously prevent behavior that's weird, that is highly suspicious, all those things. I don't think you can sometimes, but it's just like safety and tracking. I mean, the resources they waste, they probably don't want to waste it again. So.
And now the search has entered its most focused phase yet. Ocean Infinity's vessel, the Armada 8605, is operating in the southern Indian Ocean during the narrow window when conditions are the least hostile. The mission will continue only as long as weather, equipment, and operational limits allow. Rather than sweeping vast areas of ocean, the team is concentrating on a tightly defined area along the southern portion of the 7th Arc. Even without a confirmed crash point, the search is guided by drift modeling, satellite data, and newer flight path analysis. This allows investigators to prioritize the most likely locations first. And then there's the financial implications. Under the no-find, no-fee agreement,
they just need to know if they dead or alive, and they can go on with their lives. Yeah, true.
Ocean Infinity will only be paid if it locates the wreckage or the flight recorders. If nothing is found, the company absorbs the cost. It is vital they find it. If the wreckage is located, remotely operated vehicles will be deployed to visually confirm the site and document the condition of the aircraft before any recovery decisions are made. If it's not found, the operation will end. For now, the search continues in one of the most remote regions on Earth, driven by the belief that enough evidence now exists to finally locate the aircraft, and with it, the end of one of aviation's most enduring mysteries. For more than a decade, the families have lived without certainty. The search for MH370 is back on. But what do we actually know after all these years? Watch Malaysian Air Mystery, what we now know about missing flight MH370, to see how the evidence finally comes together, or click on this video instead.
Yeah, that's it. Did I even record? Like, let me see. Oh, I did record. Okay. Stop. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. I actually recorded. Yo, dude, I actually recorded, bro. I actually recorded. I have so much, like, yo. But yeah, I'm gonna say like goodbye because like this chair is done, bro. I think I need a new chair. Oh, my body's hurting. But anyway, thanks for the recommendations. Thanks for the stream, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will catch you in the next one. But yeah, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. And thanks for just sticking around, chilling, and like making this a fun experience. I'll catch you guys again. Bye.